It is 6:01. Good morning. I'm Jonathan Schaefer from the Superbook.com Sports Desk. The Titans returned to the practice field yesterday, though some of their star players did not. Ryan Tannehill, Jeffrey Simmons, Rashawn Weaver, and Torrey Carter did not practice. Tannehill suffering from an ankle sprain. His status is uncertain for Sunday against the Texans. Aaron Brewer, Dylan Cole, Morgan Cox, Nate Davis, Bud Dupree, Ben Jones, David Long were limited participants. The Chicago Bears traded pass rusher Robert Quinn to the Philadelphia Eagles in exchange for a fourth-round draft pick. Thursday Night Football, which you can hear on The Zone, Baltimore at Tampa Bay tonight, kickoff at 7:15. To the NHL, Blues at the Predators, Bridgestone Arena. 7 o'clock will be the puck drop. The Preds winless in their last 5 games. NBA, Memphis at Sacramento, 9 o'clock tip on the West Coast. For all foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home of the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Good morning. Thursday edition of Ramon, Kayla, and Will is off and running today in beautiful Nashville, Tennessee, as we get another day closer to Titans and Texans and figuring out whether or not Ryan Tannehill will be ready to go or if it is Malik Willis time in Tennessee. Alongside 11-year NFL veteran Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson, and the best producer in the world, Jonathan Schaefer.
The best producer in the world!
My name is Will Bowling. How are we?
We're good. We're okay. We're okay today.
Oh, why are we just okay?
I just got gripes. I will get to them later, okay, when everybody's up. It's all good. It's all good, Will.
Just a little bit of grace.
Kayla, how are we?
You know, it's been a morning.
It's been a morning.
Okay.
My computer charger is not here. My other Yeti is not here. However, I just got my brand new Yeti.
There you go.
Courtesy of Travis. He ordered me this because he didn't want me to use his anymore. So I'm repping my Cougs. It came just in time because the Cougs play Utah tonight. Go Cougs.
Go Cougs.
Game day.
Yeah.
We love to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Is that how late of a start is that?
I don't think it's compared to over here. Yeah, I guess it is probably pretty late. Let's see. It is Oh yeah, baby. It's a 9 p.m. start.
Oh, there it is.
Kayla
Really?
is, we'll see what we're doing tomorrow in terms of functioning.
Honestly, though, like Thursday night is the one night where I'm okay staying up a little bit later.
Okay.
Because you're not affected by like lack of sleep the next day. You're affected by it 2 days later, more
See,
so.
you came up with this philosophy. You told me
it's
about
true.
this.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what it was we were talking about. Maybe when you got sick or something.
Yep.
I can't remember. And you're like, well, it hit you 2 days after.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm starting to believe that might be true.
Oh, no, it is. There's science behind that. We were taught that in practices from like a very, very early age, probably in like middle school, of like, hey, like night before a competition is not as important as the 2 nights before because you have adrenaline and you're just like up and ready.
True.
The next day. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's why when I got to the NFL, a lot of guys that went out on Thursdays, but they made sure to go like on Saturday evenings to like sweat out everything in the steam room.
That's also true.
Yeah,
Okay.
like it gets. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Like the other day, I only got like 4.5, 5 hours of sleep, like not this past night, but the night before. And like yesterday was the most energized I've been the entire week.
Oh, for real.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Okay.
By the way,
Keep that.
So you're going to be trashed today?
No, I'm good today too. I started winding down at like 8 last night, which I don't usually do.
Oh, for real.
Yeah.
Oh wow, early bird, huh?
Well, I didn't go to sleep
you were winding
till
down.
I didn't go to sleep till 10:30.
You
but
light a candle?
No.
Oh, okay. I was hoping you like lit a candle, put on your flip flops.
I was just like watching Breaking Bad, just like chilling, like without my phone, just like vibing.
Okay, nice. You put on some tunes?
No, just watching Breaking Bad.
Oh, okay. All
For
right,
the second time.
Man.
Third time.
For the third time.
Third time.
I'm a
Okay.
big show rewatcher.
Are you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Because you learn like new things.
Well,
or
honestly, because my memory of shows, I know the general storylines and where it ends, but I forget so many details that I feel like I'm watching it again for the first time quite a bit.
right.
Like there's so many things like, oh yeah, like I forgot that happened.
I might go back and watch Friday Night Lights.
I actually was thinking about that the
The
other
movie
day
or the
because
show?
No, the series.
The series?
Oh, it's a great series.
Is it good? Or is it like cringy? It's good.
Cringy. It's
It's
not
not
cringy
it's
at
not.
all.
no, it's good.
No, it's legit.
There's only one storyline that's cringy.
There. I
One end of the
Yeah.
season.
Okay.
mean, there's
And they kind of brush it under the rug.
I kind of heard like Ballers was like cringy.
Ballers it gets cringier as you keep watching.
It does it really?
I think so.
Okay, and what was the other one too? The Game.
I
don't
haven't
know
watched
that
the
one.
game.
The Game. My wife used to watch that one all the time. I was just like, this is really close to how football is, but it's a show though, so it's different.
I was thinking about Friday Night Lights the other day because CPA leaving their Friday night for the high school game of the week last week, they were playing the theme song like as I was walking out for whatever reason. Because some high schools play like the theme song of Friday Night Lights at some point. And I was just like, oh, I feel like I'm in the show right now.
I just liked the characters. I thought it was well put together, and it went on for quite a long time.
Yeah, it did.
So
I could see you loving Tim Riggins.
no, I
Or were you
actually
team Matt
was.
Saracen?
Who's the Michael B.
Michael B. Jordan.
Oh, yeah.
Man, when Michael B. Jordan joined the cast, dude, that
He
was
was a
my
wrap.
guy. I love that guy.
Well, if this is the case, then like best football movie, then to me, probably Remember the Titans or
Untouchable.
Untouchable.
Yeah,
Yeah,
remember
it's a
the
movie.
Titans is Untouchable.
And Friday Night Lights, because there's so much realness in that in the character of Boobie Miles to me.
Right.
Like that
True.
gets me.
That's a great movie, too.
You know how many Boobie Miles I have seen throughout my lifetime?
A lot.
A lot of Boobie Miles. Yeah. So yeah, Remember the Titans and Friday Night Lights are my two.
So why are you still like ready to go this morning? Is it because everyone else in the building got lunch yesterday and there was no breakfast for us?
Oh,
And they stole my forks.
weren't we supposed to get like coffee or something this morning?
We never get anything, okay?
So essentially, the annual sale going on at 104.5 The Zone in Cumulus, Nashville. There's food brought in for everyone in sales and everyone in the building, basically. But the food gets brought in like as we're leaving. So this is what we are declaring an everyone else problem, not an us problem. Is that correct? Is that the official stance of this show?
Yeah,
Okay,
pretty
perfect.
much. Yep, absolutely.
And everyone else
And
problem.
that's an everyone else problem.
Yeah, and see, this has happened to us before.
I mean, I'm
man.
riding with you. Like I'm not.
This has happened to
I'm not
us
gonna-
before.
I'm not gonna
though,
talk you
okay?
down.
Like, don't. How much time I got? I got enough
Well,
time
we
in
go
this
to
segment,
the
Shay?
like every time we go to like the golf tournament and everything, Kayla, like we will get there and we're the ones who open up the place with Kirby.
We set the tone for the day.
We do the show and literally as we're leaving, like a big truck of like donuts or like
I
a big
saw
food
that.
truck just starts rolling in.
A whole picnic.
And Ramon and I are just like, huh? All right.
That must be nice.
Are we wheat or white? Because all we are is sliced bread.
That's it.
All
Okay.
we are.
We were literally leaving out of the spot in Dixon, right? Greystone.
Greystone.
And there
Great
this
course.
big ass food truck just coming the opposite direction as I'm leaving. I'm just like, really? There's nothing here? We had Bubba from Dixon bring us donuts,
Yeah, we
man.
did. We did.
We did, but nothing. Okay, and then, yes, I'm going to do it. Screw it. And then we get these big old leftover Danishes from the night before at the Kroger's, okay, that was brought. I was
Ew,
just like,
that
what are
can't
we
be good.
doing?
Multiple
No
Krogers or-
microwave. Yeah, multiple. Yeah, I had to pick them up, but they was going
The
in the
Krogers.
dumpster. Yeah, and I'm just like, hold up, we're a part of this thing too.
Yeah, it's not great.
And lo and behold, my forks are stolen. It probably was used on that
Oh.
big old spread yesterday that they had downstairs.
Do not be taking people's utensils.
And y'all know I bring my meals for the most part every single day,
Yeah.
too,
Yeah,
okay?
you do.
And I could bring silverware, right? I could bring one fork and just wash it off, but guess what? I leave it in the sink or in the dryer, it probably gets stolen, too.
Those things just get up and walk
Yeah.
away.
Yeah, they just get up and
And
walk
headphones
away.
get up and walk away. in this
Especially
building.
because I know
And
those
his
cost hundreds of
silverware
dollars.
is sterling silver.
You feel me? Like, hey, listen,
bringing the nice silverware.
I got
That's right.
wedding gifts, okay?
That's what I'm
Wedding
saying.
gifts, you feel me? And all I'm telling you is this: hot coffee, Folgers is what we get in the mornings, okay? I'm just like, it's got to be something. If we get something, we got to provide it.
Okay.
That's why we're doing 8th and Roasting tomorrow. You hear me, fellas?
There we go.
Lady.
The best coffee in Nashville.
We get nothing unless we get it. And I'm like, that is a big-ass spread they got for lunch.
Yeah, Slade put it on his Twitter
Yeah.
of the barbecue they got yesterday downstairs. And
Good thing I was
Pretty
off
good.
Twitter by that time.
Yeah,
I was too.
I would have been.
I just woken up from a nap and Ramon was just angry.
He was
It's like,
fuming.
okay.
And I turned it on to 3HL, and Babs talking about how she arrived early just to eat lunch, and they're all full. I heard them burping on the air and everything. I'm just
Burping
like,
on the air.
I was
Wow.
just like, I want a
Like
snack.
that.
You feel me? Like I have times in which I eat, like I want a snack.
Well,
like,
Rhett did give you a grab the gold bar.
but see, he's a saint.
And Rhett
Rhett's a real
also
one.
brought us
Rhett's a real one.
parties
Yeah, he did.
the other morning. Shout out to Rhett.
Just impromptu.
MVP.
He did. But I'm just like, we get up at 4 a.m.
Rhett, the
okay?
best executive Titans radio producer in the world.
Yeah, 100%. There's got to be somebody around the city making fresh biscuits or something in the morning for us. You feel what I'm saying? Like, was
that a burp?
That was Ramon burping.
Yeah, that was an old burp.
Oh, my God.
Probably from something I had to buy myself.
Oh, my gosh.
But I was just
goodness.
like, okay, y'all want a war?
I love Todd Apple on here. He says Folgers, and then it's just the puke emoji that he's about to puke, the
Yeah.
green emoji. That's spectacular.
That's,
Oh, yeah.
that's what we are right now. We're the Folgers group. That's what we're going to do, the
Hardly know
Folgers. Yeah. I'm just like, you know what? All right, that's cool. Y'all want a war? We'll get a war, okay? Guess what we
You're
do from
always
here
ready.
on out?
Ramon is
The
on
minimum.
a platform
Because
today.
You
see,
He's got
okay?
his platform shoes
I
on.
wanted to get
I
him
do. I
started.
got my
at-
Air Force Ones on. I should have worn the black ones.
I'm glad I got him started at 6:08.
I am too.
You
Well,
feel me? Because I'm just like, okay, everybody eats, right?
That's right. Well,
Except for
Well,
the
we
morning.
don't.
Here we go.
everybody eats as long as we bring our own lunch.
We got as long as we bring our own lunch.
Everybody eats
We don't
as
eat.
long as we bring our own
I'm
lunch.
telling you, man, we get 8 ounces of coffees
That's
at
right.
remotes, man. It's cool. It's all good.
Well,
You
on
know
today's show, Ryan Tannehill's status continues to be a topic of conversation at St. Thomas Sports Park. Yesterday, we run through the Titans injury report, and it got some good news on it with the status of Zach Cunningham and Nate Davis, potential returns for them. But the conversation with Ryan Tannehill yesterday, we'll play you that audio after the break of what he had to say. And no, he wasn't in the boot. And he says it is an ankle sprain, but that's about all he's going to say. 12 other Titans appear on this week's injury report. Look at the Houston Texans report as well. We also talk with Ben Arthur of Fox Sports today at 8:20 and get the roundup around the AFC South on the outlook for the Colts under Sam Ehlinger, how quickly he sees Chris Conley getting up to speed with now his third AFC South team here in Nashville, and surprise over the Travis Etienne running back one controversy that ends in James Robinson heading to New York. Coach Dave McGinnis at 9 a.m., our weekly visit with him and Wesley Woodyard, former Tennessee Titan. The musical stylings of one Wesley Woodyard coming up at 9:20, a Kentucky Wildcat and a Tennessee Titan. And Fraud versus For Real round 2 at the end of the month. I think we save this for the last Thursday of every month.
yeah, I like that.
And
Yeah, I like that.
do a roundup on who has become a fraud and who has become for real. And we will do that today at 7:20. But when we come back, it's our weekly Q&Ks from the Titans locker room as Kayla Anderson talks to a couple of different guys in the Titans locker room, and specifically Ryan Tannehill. We'll tell you about his status when we come back on Ramon, Kayla, and Will, unfed but still ready to go for 4 hours today on 104.5 The Zone.
Change is coming and you need to be prepared for it. Hey, this is Ramon Foston. Did you know that new regulations are coming soon that could increase the price of replacing your older HVAC system by over 20%? That's why you need to act now and get that older system replaced by my friends at Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. They offer 18 months with no payments. You can lock in today's price and not have to pay until spring of 2024. Or you can get up to $1,500 off your new HVAC right now. Spring Hill Heating and Cooling is always backed by a 10-year parts and labor warranty on your products. And Spring Hill Heating and Cooling is also a York certified comfort expert company. If you're in need of repair work also, they offer free service calls with their repairs, plus low monthly payments on those repairs. They are the heating and cooling company that can take care of all of your HVAC needs. Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, available anytime at springhillac.com.
Ramon wants me to ask you about freaking Kentucky. So he's been saying Kentucky all week. I know you got another view on this, bud.
Man, Cats by 30. We want Bama.
Bud Dupree, ladies and gentlemen. Tennessee Titans outside linebacker has no time for Ramon Foster, his former teammate.
It was so cool. It was so just like, boom, that was the way we entered the interview. And then he was like, I'm out.
Cats about that. I know
Mic drop.
They're going to sit down
For
in his
Bud
locker,
Dupree.
man. What
It's
is wrong
Ramon,
with
Kayla, and
Bud?
Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors on 104.5 The Zone, 615-737-1045 on the phone lines. So, out of all the sound we get yesterday from the Titans locker room, that was where we will begin because, yes, we have a couple of former, not former friends. We have a couple of friends of Ramon Foster who are
Are you talking about people
who
that
are
bring
Wildcats.
food? Oh, never mind.
Never mind.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a storyline all day.
Yeah, it's all day long I'm tweeting.
Yes,
about
As
it.
we've established, Rhett Bryan is the only one who's going to take care of us. That's the only friend we need today.
He's not even in sales. He got a whole Titans radio to
Right?
produce.
That's
man.
right.
Come
You
on.
got a friend in me.
Do I? We're
Danny
friends in
Dimes,
this
where
group.
you at?
Man,
AKA
come
Woody.
on.
But we have a couple of friends of yours, a Wesley Woodyard one, and then Bud Dupree right there, who are going to fight you a little bit this week.
Yeah, man. He's that was good by Bud. He's supposed to do that. Even in their bad times, he held them down. He did hold them down, okay?
Right.
And I don't know what this Kentucky game's gonna look like. I just don't. But Kayla, that was a great soundbite. What you said, Cats by 30, we want Bama.
Yeah.
That usually means they're gonna get trashed and
Right.
thrashed by somebody the week before. So no, they don't want Bama at all.
He kept it short and sweet, but to the point. He had delivery.
Man, Cats by 30. We want Bama.
That's a
and
bold strategy, Cotton. We'll see if it plays out for him.
Dupree always has. I love Dupree's got something about his voice that's
Yeah.
just kind of like you listen, right?
Yeah,
We want Bama.
Yeah, it's like don't mess with me.
Yeah, that's right. You'd think that he went to Tennessee saying, well, you want Bama?
We already had them.
Wait, did Ramon, can you, today is October the 27th, Thursday morning at 6:25 a.m. Can you tell me if we give a damn about the whole state of Alabama?
According to my clock, my computer, and my phone, hell no.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, there
Thanks.
it is.
I just wanted to make sure. So going into the weekend, Ryan Tannehill speaks with the media yesterday and says he is heading in the right direction and details the process of being ready for the Houston Texans this weekend. Here is what QB1 had to say about his status going into Houston.
Heading in the right direction. Got a little ways to go, but been better, been worse, and heading in the right direction.
What's the process in, kind of doing the icing, and what's that been like the last couple days?
It's a process for sure. Just doing everything I can in the training room here, at home, all types of treatments. So, just trying to stay on top of it as much as I can and give my body the best chance to heal.
Is it a regular ankle sprain, high ankle sprain?
It's an ankle sprain. I'll leave it at that.
So Ryan Tannehill, of course, went to the Mike Vrabel School of Press Conferences, and that's about as much as he's going to give us. But, Kayla, what was the vibe you got just about his status and kind of where he's at this point going into Sunday?
Well, the first thing that we were looking at was him walking to the podium. As crazy as that sounds, did he have the boot on? No. In that small amount of time that he was walking, did it look somewhat normal? Yeah, but you can't really tell much from that. It's a small walk to the podium from the locker room. And then just the tone of his press conference, he wasn't going to give any details. One, because you mentioned it, it's Mike Vrabel's School of Injury where you don't get details ever. But also, I don't think necessarily they would make him available this week if they didn't think he was going to play.
Okay.
That's something I take from the way that they do player interviews and what I've seen in the past with that. But anything can happen in 3-4 days, setbacks or moving forward.
Sure.
So at this point, I still think it is truly up in the air because of you're going to have to go with how he feels.
Yeah.
He did not practice yesterday, as you saw in the injury report, but Mike Vrabel did not say he wouldn't be out there at all. I can't say a ton of details because I'm not able to, dispose all of that. But I feel like he is going to play. That is my personal opinion.
Yeah, the bounce in his walk to me was very telling. Like he hit that corner. Only thing I looked at his ankles. I was just like,
Right?
What does that ankle look like? Do I see a tweak or anything, man?
Yeah.
But it's very encouraging. And sometimes the boot is just that to it. And now, can I be real with y'all too? Well, Kayla, y'all know this.
You may.
Athletes, at the thought of injury, get real soft too. I know I did. Listen, I just knew my knee was blown
Time
out.
out. What do you mean soft? Can you explain that?
Yeah, thank you. Oh, I'm glad you say that, okay? The idea that you're going to be less than what you're used to being scares athletes.
Okay.
It just does. Like, you know how you get hit sometimes, you see somebody roll over and say, oh, my God. It's not the actual injury. It's the quick pain and the thought that you're done.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and then you go inside, you know what I'm saying? You get evaluated. It's like, oh, this is probably just a sprain, or it was just a, nothing major here. We'll work on this and you'll be fine. A week or two and you're good. Like, that's, athletes get scared. I know I did. Anytime I did something, or just like, I'm a big baby when it comes to that stuff. A rolled ankle, oh, I'm screaming to the highest pitches. You hear me? Like, that's just where I was. And those suck in general, but like guys are like that.
But you don't they're not showing it to us.
No, they're not showing it to us. And I'm sure whenever Tannehill went in, whether high sprain or low sprain, it's clearly not as severe as we thought, because if it was a high sprain, he'd probably still be in their boot. They wouldn't let him outside of the facility like that. Just like, not even in a joking way right now. Will, you and your Achilles.
Oh, God, yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yes, Shay.
Love it.
Yes.
No, every time I had
That's awesome.
every time it would like hurt again.
Yeah.
Because especially when you have recurring injuries that happen over literally 3 years, and for me now, like 6. Thank you. Jonathan Schaefer, very loving this morning. Your mind immediately goes to the worst place.
Yeah.
Like the second that starts of like, oh, I'm going to have to miss this week, aren't I?
You know someone who benefited from it, though? This Titans franchise.
Well,
Let me tell you, for a particular reason. Andrew Luck didn't want to go through it anymore.
True.
Like, that was a huge part of it, wasn't it?
And can I ask the question, too? Like, the circumstances are obviously not ideal for Malik Willis to potentially make his first start at this point of the season in week 8. Mm-hmm. But I think there is a positive to Malik Willis being forced into a game day routine this week in practice.
That's a great point, Will. And he was out there, obviously taking the reps with the ones, because he is the one out there right now, because Ryan isn't out there. And, you can get the most out of practice. I feel like Malik is one of those guys who he's going to take every opportunity he has to get better. And if that means doing that in practice this week, even if he doesn't play, you're still continuing to grow as that player.
Yeah.
And every moment, every situation counts, right?
It does. It does. Him commanding the huddle, him getting the majority of the reps. Like, I'm going to be honest, it's a little different when the backup comes in mid-season like this, because it's just like, oh, the flow is different, the snap count's different. So if it is him, he has to be over-prepared this weekend. Won't be a bad thing. It's just good, though, for him to experience this. To y'all's point, he hasn't done it in season. And I don't know what it's going to look like, because he's a rookie still,
Sure. So Jeffrey Simmons did not practice yesterday because of an ankle injury. Looks like he's going to be fine. On 3HL yesterday, talked to the media as well, but he spoke to you about stopping Dameon Pierce, and specifically the confidence this Titans defense has stopping any running back, but also the disruption of that front seven creating the interceptions for David Long and for Andrew Adams in this defense. Here is Kayla's conversation yesterday, continuing our Q&Ks with Jeffrey Simmons.
So, Jeff, I know that Bud said the other day, we're just a bunch of goons out there like to go and hit people. Really, though, how much pride do you guys take in this defense? But that front four has something special, huh? Yeah,
I mean, it come down to not being selfish. A lot of guys out there, everyone want to make a sack. Everyone want to make a play. And I think, that's what it come down to, all us playing together, being on the same page and, just having fun with each other. And that's where, that chemistry and that relationship build as a front four, I think, as close as we could be when it come down to on game day, throughout the week, that's where we build our relationship. And on game day, and that relationship tight, that's where we know we could play together and have fun with it.
And when you get those sacks, that's one thing, and the pressure on the quarterback. But when it comes to maybe putting the pressure on and then seeing the guys in the back end get, rewarded with interceptions, like how great does that feel as well?
I mean, it's real good, though. Like I said, because some of the time where we get sacks, it's great coverage on the back end. And, And just like when we get pressures and make the quarterback make bad decisions with the ball, them guys get rewarded for it. So, I mean, it's just all 11 on the field working together as a defense, and that's what we talk about all the time. How can we work together to create them type of turnovers?
Speaking of getting pressure, Davis Mills, clearly kind of coming along here, but when he feels the pressure, he's not at his best. I mean, how big is that going to be on Sunday?
I mean, it's going to be big. I mean, but, it's first off, it start off by stopping 31. He's a very good back. And, props to our defense. We from every game we didn't play this season, we have faced a good back. Starting with the Giants, so far on to who we just played. So each and every week we facing these good backs, and I feel like I take my defense to get any running back in the league. We have stopped the run here, and we're known for stopping the run. So we have another challenge this week by stopping the run, and I look forward to it.
So there's Big Jeff talking to Kayla Anderson yesterday in the Titans locker room. The confidence of this defense being an all-around group to stop the pass, as they've done a little bit better in the past few weeks, but to take away a team's best weapon at running back again on Sunday is a concern that we had coming off of the Giants loss that is certainly not as big of a talking point about this team now.
No.
Yeah.
It's not. You take away the Saquon game. This is number one. I think right now they have him ranked as the 4th rated rush defense in the league right now. That's good. Like the average says 4.4, but that's legitimately like one game in Saquon.
And one quarter.
He's been doing that to everybody this year. So
he's the second best back right now.
That's what I'm saying. Like legitimately. So. He's right. Everybody they're going to play this year got a guy. Like Jacksonville still has a guy too. You know what I'm saying? Like Kansas City has a guy too. Like Jeff ain't wrong in that. That run game, you better come with your mind right if you playing the Titans in the run game.
And they take, like you heard from Jeff, so much pride in kind of helping out the back end, but the back end actually helping out the front. It's a whole team effort, and I thoroughly believe that's not just him saying that. That is how that defense worked this year, last year. Props to Shane Bowen for getting things together. You guys remember when they had the worst third down percentage in the league, and it would not get better.
Yeah.
It was awful, and now they're the best third down percentage.
Yeah.
I mean, that's incredible, just the turnaround from that. And we didn't know what we were going to see out of that defense. It's been the strong point the last 2 years. But I just give a lot of credit because of the guys on the cast, because the guys that are there. That's how much they care. That's how much pride they take. And it starts with Big Jeff and the leadership with him.
Also, if you didn't know, because I didn't know, and I looked it up, only one rushing touchdown given up this year.
I didn't know that. That's big.
If my stat line is correct, only one rushing touchdown given up this year. And I think that was the Saquon one.
And you've really just had a bad half against the run.
Yeah.
The second half against the New York Giants. First half, you were fine. And based on yards per carry, Jonathan Taylor had 5 carries for 40 in the first half this past weekend, and they went away from him, which is a big Frank Reich problem, and it's why the Colts are behind the 8 ball in the AFC South, is because they didn't give the ball to Jonathan Taylor more in the second half. It's still one of the weirdest things I've seen in a Titans game this year, the fact that he got 5 carries for 18 yards in the second half against the Titans on Sunday.
Yeah.
615-737-1045 is the number this morning if you want to join in on the conversation. We go to John in the Borough leading us off on the phones today. What's going on, John?
What's up, John?
Good morning, everybody. First off, you're all wrong. The greatest football movie ever is Varsity Blues.
John, I didn't get to say that because they were talking their talk. I didn't get to say mine.
Really?
Varsity Blues is the greatest
such a good
football movie of all time. Okay. Argue with your mama because I don't care.
It's so good.
Okay. Anyway, if Malik starts this week, Titans fans, prepare yourself. If he does great, that doesn't mean he's better than Tannehill right now. So calm down and relax. And if he does poorly, he's still a rookie. Calm down and relax. Let's go.
Thank you, John.
Thanks, John. That's a valid point.
You need a pipe.
That's
It's
fair.
honestly, it's kind of
fair.
funny that when the Titans have a game like this where you know you're going to have to just figure it out, I have more confidence in Mike Vrabel coach teams going into games like Sunday than I do in games where they're totally healthy.
Isn't that weird?
Houston at home last year, like the New York Jets on the road last year, like they weren't healthy in that New York Jets game last year. They didn't have their wide receivers, but in this context, I go back to Mike Vrabel's first win as the head coach of the Tennessee Titans, when you had Kevin Byard and Dane Cruikshank hooking up for a touchdown on a fake punt on fourth down in his second ever game as head coach, and you didn't have QB1, you didn't have your left tackle because you had Blaine Gabbert starting and Taylor Lewan was out for that game, and you figured it out.
Yeah.
Mike Vrabel set the tone for winning games like this in literally his first win as the team's coach back in 2018 against this Houston Texans team. So if it needs to be Malik, if it needs to be a banged-up Ryan Tannehill, I think those are the two options right now because a 100% Ryan Tannehill I don't think is even on the table this weekend.
And you got to be ready. Here's the other way to look at it. If Ryan Tannehill gets sacked and re-aggravates that ankle or something happens in that situation, no matter what, Malik's going to have to step in if he starts the game or not. And so you have to look at it in that way, too. If he's going to be out there in terms of Ryan Tannehill, you're putting him out there, but he's going to be kind of a target, in my opinion.
They're going to make it a point to try to get to him. That's for sure. There's no other way around that. But the good news is Rhett B. walking here, you saw the news too, is they got a guy that requested a release too.
That's right. On the Houston Texans, Kamu Grugier-Hill asked for his release after practice today. Starting linebacker who had a pick six against the Titans in that win in Nashville a season ago. So, and that's one of their best run stoppers. So you are taking one of the best run stoppers away from the worst run defense in the National Football League this weekend against the Tennessee Titans.
Former 6th-round pick by the Patriots. I told you, I've seen this thing kind of happen before to us. It was LeGarrette Blount. We played the Titans here.
Titans legend.
You remember that? Well, still a legend, too. We played the Titans here, and Le'Veon had a good game. He actually ended up pretty much going to the locker room early, and I can use the word quit. He quit on us. Ended up getting released, then went back to the Patriots, who also went on to win the Super Bowl that year.
Well, he was only a Steelers legend because he was Le'Veon's hold guy.
They both got suspended, though. But, he was his hold guy.
Hold guy?
Yeah, you remember they got caught with the marijuana in the car.
Oh, that's right. Stay off the
before a game. Yeah,
Will doesn't understand drug jokes.
I'm sorry? Question mark.
But you said people speculate he wanted to get released from a bad team and potentially go back to Philly where he won a Super Bowl with them before.
I hate that kind of stuff.
It happened to us.
I can't stand that.
LeGarrette won a Super Bowl after
he entered the transfer portal.
Yeah, he did.
The NFL. Kamu Grugier-Hill just entered the NFL transfer portal.
Just said, release me. And they said, okay.
615-737-1045. We'll get to Micah in Alabama on the phones when we come back. Plus, Chris Conley's first conversation in the Titans locker room, what he had to say, and a certain comment that he made, guys, that I think fits the mentality of not only what Mike Vrabel is looking for in a Tennessee Titan, but what he is looking for in mid-season acquisitions on this Titans roster. We'll talk about that when we come back on Ramon, Kayla, and Will Thursday edition, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors on 104.5 The Zone.
Hey, it's Ramon Foster from myphdweightloss.com. Listen to me. I did the same thing I did like a week or so ago. I went out the house with some jeans. No, I got shorts on today and a sweater or in a quarter zip, and I didn't wear a belt, and I got baggy clothes on again. So I'm just here to tell you, if you ever believed in a plan, it's this one from My PhD Weight Loss, because on average, most male clients lose 3 to 5 pounds a week, which is proven true to your guy right here. And female clients average 2 to 3 pounds a week. My goal right now, if I walk out of the house, is to get back to the 2003 or 2002 NBA draft where they wear baggy suits like that. If I get to that point, that's when you know I'm really crushing it, okay? That's my goal, is to wear a baggy suit like the 2002 or 2003 NBA draft. Listen to me. This diet's not like others. There's no weight. There's no meal suppressants. You're not hangry. You're not hungry all the time. It's specifically for you the same way it is for everybody else. If this is something that interests you, go to myphdweightloss.com. It's myphdweightloss.com and tell them that Ramon sent you.
It's Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors right here on 104.5 The Zone. Hearing from Titans players in the locker room yesterday, courtesy of Kayla Anderson's chats with them. Let me just say this now, too, in defense and in hyping up our teammate, Ramon. While I'm out there taking a nap, Kayla's out there at Preds practice.
Yeah.
Kayla's out there talking to Titans. I'm not just hyping you up to hype you up. I really mean it. Kayla's working more than all of us.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, guys. I do it first and foremost for you and the team because I think it's great content that
it is.
You can see on other people's platforms, but if we're out there doing it, I think that's way more important, to be
Absolutely.
bringing that to our team exclusively. And this is what I've always done in my career. I've always wanted to be out there telling the stories, asking the questions. So I'm continuing to do that. I don't care if I'm not on TV doing it. Doesn't matter to me.
Crushing it.
We're doing it on radio.
That's freaking awesome, man. And what will be even, crazier or better, too, is if with all that work, there was like breakfast here in the morning for you, too.
Ooh,
and
that's
hot
a
coffee.
great idea.
And my forks that were stolen.
That's a
you baited
great
and
idea.
switched me right there. I did not know that's where you were going with that.
No, but for real, though, I appreciate you doing that type of stuff. Seriously, though. You grind early in the morning for us and throughout the day, man. Again, savage. Again, everybody eats and everybody's doing their part.
Well, we don't.
Apparently we don't.
We don't eat. So
Everybody Kayla's grinding. We just need someone to grind coffee beans for us.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to get grind to a gristle soon if we get something out of this, man.
615-737-1045. Michael in Alabama up next on the phone lines. Good morning, Michael.
Yes. Hello.
What's going on?
Hello. Can you hear me?
We got you.
Okay. I was going to ask, being that Malik might be eligible to start, depending on how Ryan goes the rest of the week, do you think that we'll see more like design run plays, more of his athletic ability?
Thank you, Michael.
Thanks, Mike. I would hope so.
Yeah.
It'd be neglectful not to use
100%.
that, use his legs to roll out and stuff like that. In this situation right now, as he's continuing to learn, we're hearing from Coach Mack, we're hearing from Red, just in general, general stuff, he's gotten better. But the goal right now is not the season. So you don't need him sitting in the pocket the entire time. You need him making plays and being comfortable with what he does, right? Kayla, that's what you suggest is look, if you're smart, do what he does best, okay?
Yeah.
And off of that, you can throw a pass because it's not like he can't throw. It's a matter of how his accuracy is and the timing of plays and stuff like that when it comes to the play action and whatnot.
I think it is interesting because the conversation changes in the preseason to now, because in the preseason, you wanted Malik Willis to run Ryan Tannehill's version of the Tennessee Titans offense because he was auditioning to be Ryan Tannehill's replacement long-term within the Tennessee Titans offense. Now I don't think that's the case. And we noted this at the time, Ramon, that if you got to get him ready in a pinch, you make him ready based on what he's comfortable with now.
Sir.
You're not caring about long-term and let's do something that's sustainable within the offense the way we've been running it. No, it's, all right, Malik, take a highlighter in green and in yellow. Green is what you like. Yellow is what you don't like.
Yeah, for sure. That would be neglectful to this team to put him out there and drop back 50 times. You know what I'm saying? No, roll him out, tell him make plays, but be safe.
Sure.
Yeah. Work on that handoff,
Yeah, under center snaps and everything else. Even that, though. Put him in the shotgun for all I care. Derek's already halfway there, so hand the ball off.
Sure.
Run option.
So the question is, which quarterback will be throwing to the Tennessee Titans' new wide receiver, and Chris Conley? He had his first chat in the Titans locker room with the media yesterday. And when you listen to this audio, guys, I think he really fits the personality and the DNA of what Mike Vrabel wants in this locker room. A veteran, he's played 8 NFL seasons now, 102 games, 62 starts. Here's Chris Conley talking to Jim Wyatt, who tweeted this audio out yesterday.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's no promises. There's no promises here. I know that they just want me to come in and compete, be physical, and learn everything and make the play with my numbers called. So, I can't tell you this or that about what I'm going to do, but I'm going to go out there and I'm going to execute at everything I'm asking. It's just a good opportunity. It's the mindset of a competitor. It doesn't matter who's in the room. It doesn't really matter what the scheme is. It's how can you learn that and how can you go out there and dominate and execute. And I know that is a mentality that's shared by a lot of people in this locker room. I know guys on this team, have friends that have been on this team, and they've always been about that. So I'm just going to continue in that same vein and just do everything that I can to help him win.
So I was impressed by that from the newest Tennessee Titan,
yeah.
Chris Conley there. And this is a guy, Kayla, who understands the locker room that he's walking into.
Absolutely. I was actually in on that scrum. I just audio-wise, sometimes when
Right.
you get in on the scrums, you can't get your mic in there.
Right.
But I'm going to go try to talk to him one-on-one today and get his thoughts on just the first day of practice and how he felt. But he right away, just the way that he commanded himself in the locker room as a professional who's new to this team, I was like, wow, he is so calm, so collected.
Yeah.
I could already tell he was a fit in terms of the culture. And he knows what his job is. He knows what he has to do. He knows he has to get caught up as soon as he can. I'm interested to see how that first day went with the guys in terms of practice. But then seeing him out on the field just in individual drills yesterday from the small part we saw, this is like a bigger guy. He's 6'3". I think he's like, what, 205 or something. But one of the drills specifically where he, was running and grabbing the ball, it was like a Venus flytrap. It was like, it was like the way that he like brought in the ball so quick. I was like, whoa. Yeah. Like he's a pretty interesting guy because he's had a good career. It's not anything crazy special, but if you look at his numbers, pretty good career. I think he could actually be a good addition right now, just with not much depth there.
I think with him up on the 53, the Titans are better at wide receiver this Sunday against the Texans than they were last weekend. Mm-hmm. And I think they're also probably more likely to maybe have a fifth guy up at the wide receiver position instead of four. But time will tell whether or not Torrey Carter can go. That would require Kevin Rader or one of those extra tight ends to be on the field to fill in for him. So I think that's also kind of part of that equation right now, too. 615-737-1045 is the number. 1 hour quickly in the books this morning. And when we come back, we take more of your phone calls, and we look more specifically on the game plan for Malik Willis, what he had to say yesterday, and how different the preparation process is for him this week at St. Thomas Sports Park. We're going to move Coach Dave McGinnis up to 7:20 this morning, so we'll talk with him coming up in hour number 2 as well. Much more still to come on the Thursday edition. Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors, 104.5 The Zone.
Hey, it's Ramon Foster for Window Nation, and forecasters are predicting a colder and snowy winter, and winter is coming up fast. Are you prepared? Have your old windows lost their integrity? Are they drafty, hard to operate, or single pane and inefficient? Listen to me again. I warned you guys that, look, it's Halloween season, and because of that, your kids are probably out pranking folks right now. So be prepared for eggs on your window. Somebody might even be a degenerate and throw a rock through your window. If they do, guess what? Go to windownation.com or call 866-90-NATION and get that window replaced, because right now you can get 2 free windows for every 2 you buy and pay nothing until 2025. Okay, again, no payments until 2025. Add that to thousands more in energy savings over time. You'll join over 150,000 smart homeowners who have Window Nation windows. Again, the number is 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com.
The Titans and the Texans. Kickoff is Sunday afternoon at 3:05 on your flagship for Titans Radio. Trending now at 104.5 The Zone.
It is 7:03. Good morning. I'm Jonathan Schaefer from the Superbook.com sports desk. The Titans returned to the practice field yesterday, though some of their star players did not. Ryan Tannehill, Jeffrey Simmons, Rashad Weaver, Torrey Carter did not practice. Tannehill suffering from an ankle sprain. His status is uncertain for Sunday. Aaron Brewer, Dylan Cole, Morgan Cox, Nate Davis, Bud Dupree, Ben Jones, and David Long were limited participants. The Texans have released linebacker Kamu Grugier-Hill at his request. News coming out of Houston from yesterday. Chicago Bears traded pass rusher Robert Quinn to the Philadelphia Eagles in exchange for a fourth-round draft pick. Thursday Night Football, which you can hear on The Zone. Baltimore at Tampa Bay, kickoff set for 7:15 tonight. To the NHL, the Blues at the Predators and Bridgestone Arena. 7 o'clock will be the puck drop for that. Preds winless in their last 5 games. NBA Memphis at Sacramento with a 9 o'clock tip on the West Coast. For foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once. On your over the Titans and the Vols, this is 104.5 The Zone.
We may not be well fed, but the show is going well. On 104.5 The Zone.
But it could be
Ramon,
better.
Kayla and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors on 104.5 The Zone.
Oh, God.
A hungry Ramon Foster. Kayla Anderson, Will Bowling with you. Jonathan Schaefer, many say that he's the best producer in the world.
The best producer in the world.
Not me, but many.
Craig. You
And
better say it, Will.
And Ramon Foster bringing out the sunglasses this morning.
It's time to go dark mode. It's dark mode in Neyland this weekend.
You got the black jacket on.
Yeah, I do got the black quarter zip on this morning too, man. By the way, about 2 weeks ago, this was kind of tight on your boy. Now it kind of fits a little bit better, but shout out to my PhD, weightloss.com.
How's bragging camp going?
It's going real well. I don't know because somebody stole my forks. It was probably used on the spread downstairs
We're helping
yesterday.
you on your diet. We're just keeping the utensils away from you so you can't eat.
Pipe down.
But it ain't even that. I want to see y'all eat, okay? That's what I want. Everybody eats. Y'all hear
I
the
stayed
motto.
at the office. I ate yesterday.
We got to come in at 3 o'clock and
wow.
stay to 6 in the evening? Okay, all right, bet. I'll be here. Hey, King,
come on.
Whoa.
I'll be home late.
Whoa.
For lunch.
The food was here like 11:30.
It was 11:30. I mean,
Becky told us to
I'm
yesterday.
all
I know
for
she did.
breakfast for the crew,
Yeah.
but that was a bit.
No.
No. That
is
No, not giving me that one. Nope.
We were just talking about minor league baseball in the break, and I mentioned that
Well,
Kayla covered
yes,
the
we were.
Montgomery
That's
biscuits.
right.
The Montgomery biscuits, and Ramon gave me a look of like, you said biscuits.
It might be nice to have one.
Have you seen the?
We weren't even talking
Have you
about
seen
food.
like the actual what is it called symbol or
Oh, it's great. The logo.
the logo?
Yeah.
Look it up.
I-
Have you seen it? Oh, you gotta look
is
at
it
it.
gonna
like a
make
little
me
piece
hungry?
of.
It'll
there's a
make
little
you even
piece
more
of butter
hungry.
It'll
on
Just
make
it.
look
me
it
even
up. It's
hungry.
amazing.
Okay.
Shout
All
out
right.
Montgomery biscuits.
I love good. I just love minor league baseball. I always make this joke that if there's one trivia category I feel like I would be money at, it would be naming minor league baseball teams. Like hearing be like AA of the whoever, and I
Because
could
there's so
probably
many
name it.
funny names.
Oh, it's
There's only one phenom.
That's right. Bragging camp really
By
went well.
the way-
I stayed overnight this year.
The Savannah Bananas are coming to
Yeah,
Nashville
they are.
next
They
summer,
are.
and I am going.
They absolutely
I'm
are.
really excited.
Definitely going too. It'd be nice to have bananas in the morning.
Oh my gosh, you were ridiculous.
I am
You
going to
were
be this way.
absolutely ridiculous.
I am. I can admit that today. Because why?
I'll admit it.
That's
I'll
what we
admit it.
do. Yeah, that's what. Oh wow, this logo is awesome.
Isn't
Kayla.
it great?
That's what I'm
This is
saying.
pretty
The
cool.
butter is the tongue.
Yeah, I see.
It's so sweet, man.
You know, I can have butter in my diet too.
Okay, well, let's get you a buttered biscuit.
In the good Lord, I hardly know her. Because in the Southern League of AA baseball, there's 10 teams in the Southern League. Tennessee Smokies are one of them because I
Yep.
worked in that league too.
We don't need to go further down
And
this topic.
I'm
We
just
can
saying.
move on to something more relevant.
No.
Oh, boy.
It is the hungriest
All right,
league
good.
in sports.
There's
is why I
the
said it.
okay. Good.
Yeah, come on, I'm a radio professional.
Hey,
Is he gonna clip his mic?
he
Turn my mic off. And because you
thought I saw
have
that go
you have
off.
the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp who play the Montgomery Biscuits. So it's like the hungriest matchup in
You
minor
know
league
what you
baseball.
can get with that? A morning po' boy.
That's right.
That'd be
Yeah.
nice to have in the
A
morning.
little bit of lemon butter on it instead of normal butter.
You are so over the top today. It's
I'm
fantastic.
really
I know.
hungry
I'm like,
during
this is the different Ramon that I've ever seen before.
I told y'all I was petty. Y'all hadn't seen this part in a while. It's been a while since this guy come out.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a
while.
watching on YouTube says Slay has turned Will into a baby savage.
Ron Slay. He's the one that snitched on the whole building yesterday. Tweeted out this phenomenal spread from
That's
Famous
what
Dave's
got
bar.
you
You know
He's
what?
the- yeah.
It is Ron's fault.
It's Ron's fault.
That is the stick that I used to poke
Yeah.
the bear this morning at 6:05 a.m.
I'd love to know how good the food was yesterday for the afternoon cruise. Well, everybody but the morning.
Oh, do you want me to tell you?
Yeah.
Because it was great.
It was great.
What is
all
it
of it.
today that they have?
What? What do we have?
There's food again today.
There's
that's
food?
coming
Oh,
in.
it's
I don't know, but I'll say this with Famous Dave's.
There's Corner Pub tomorrow.
There are some barbecue joints where the meat's good, but the sides aren't, and vice versa. With Famous Dave's, everything.
Terrific.
And not only that, I'm a sauce guy, but the way they cook their meat, you don't even need to add sauce to it. That's how good
It's
Famous
really,
Dave's
really
is.
good. Yep.
Really good. Are you hungry?
Wow.
Even hungrier now, Ramon?
Impressive.
I mean, yeah, this coffee shake that I'm having this morning is not. Yeah, it's all good, I guess. We'll get something eventually.
All that to say, if you are a business owner, take your loyalty to your team further. Become part of 104.5 The Zone's client family.
Yeah.
We've got loyal Zone listeners who are sometimes so loyal. They're the ones that bring us food because if we're fed, it's because our listeners bring us food. I'm just
Shout out to
letting the
Bubba
bit go
and
even
Dixon.
further now. This week, we are hosting our annual sale. We are pretty much letting you get essentially a Tom Brady for the cost of some 6th-round draft picks. Which is what Tom Brady was as well. So for this week only, offering deals that can get you started, driving revenue into your doors. If you are a business owner, you need to get your brand tied with us at 104.5 The Zone. Don't delay. Don't think about it. It is the annual sale. You can call our general sales manager, Dave Elliott, at 615-312-3502. If you feel like your business can get involved and is a fit for the 104.5 The Zone
Your
brand. which,
breakfast business.
if you're listening to the sound of my voice, it is
so many good
something that
spots.
could get involved with us. 615-312-3502 to talk with our guy, Dave Elliott.
Shout out to Dave, man. Dave's a solid dude.
Yeah.
Shout out to Becky too. I'm being very
Yeah,
just
Becky.
like petty this morning.
Becky
but
is a rock star.
it's just look.
Yeah, but
We
you know who
love
got the
coffee.
food yesterday?
Who?
Becky.
Yeah, Bex did. No, straight up.
Becky, we were all chatting.
She brought
in
me a
there.
donut.
Yeah, no,
Yesterday?
Becky. She's the ish.
She brought me a duck donut, which I'm on the record.
Now
as
look at
some of
Savage
the
gonna
best-
rub it in.
Gave
Somebody-
me one
donuts
too.
in Nashville.
Those are like fancy.
Oh, they're
we love
so
coffee.
good.
We love coffee. Yeah, of course we do.
That's right.
Just not burnt.
Got the
Folgers
big
coffee.
tumbler right here.
Right?
Yeah.
We all do.
Mine
We
came
all
from
got
the
our
break
tumblers.
room.
Someone else we appreciate is Goody Mike, who's in Cleveland on the phone lines with us this morning. Hello, Mike. How are you?
Hello, how you doing, William?
I'm great.
I see, I see, like Cousin Brian said, you got your Jonas Halloween outfit on.
I don't know what that means.
Jonas,
Joe
the Jonas Brothers.
Joe Jonas.
I get more critique about my wardrobe from people who watch us on YouTube than I do like any other part of my
I
job.
know, and I come in looking like a bum.
I know.
Well, at least I'm not saying you're ugly,
Kayla
Will.
commented
That's
on
cool.
because she complimented
I
the
like
flannel
it.
like jacket I have today.
I was happy when all three of y'all had crew neck sweaters on. I thought that was a good look for the squad. But look, Will, earlier you did say something interesting. You said, how you feeling real confident about, going into this game. With everything that's coming out, Malik might be starting, everything, all these headlines. And as Titans fans, we feel good at these moments because we usually go out like, the COVID game. We went out, dominated, got one of our best highlights off of that dang old game. So I thought that was a good point. KK Savage, I ain't forget about you. We appreciate you, all of us. We really appreciate you. And I think it's very fitting that Gino to save Pete Carroll's behind and got that, that hot seat, cooling down on him because Seahawks and Giants, that's going to be the game to watch Sunday.
Yeah.
I like
For
it,
real.
Goody.
That's going to be the game right there. And I'm going for them Seahawks
Let's go.
just because of you and all your efforts that you do. I'm going for the Seahawks Sunday. Now let's get down to brass tacks. Y'all kind of just brought it in. Listen, y'all doing. I don't know who's in charge, but Becky and David, we got to step it up now. We got to step it up, okay? If you're listening, okay, this show went from 3 hours to 4 hours for a reason.
That's right.
And I was on the campaign. I was on the campaign then. Right now, we got a new campaign. And, I'm going to do my best to get my dog not just a fork, but a fork, spoon, and knife, okay? Not just donuts and a bagel.
Right.
No, we need fried bologna.
Yeah.
We need some sausage. And I ain't talking about no fried up hot dogs, okay? We need the thick bologna. We need some eggs, okay? We need 2 cheeses. We need Gouda and the cheddar, baby. Okay? We need the whole thing, the whole shebang-a-bang. And you know what I'm talking about?
I want energy drinks.
Oatmeal. And if you want some raisins, bring the raisins for the oatmeal too now. Okay? All right, so we calling out anybody from I ain't gonna say no names, but we gonna use initials. We're gonna call out everybody from CB, okay, and with a barrel, to WH, and with a house, and any mom and pop three of me out there, y'all want to have some advertisement in the morning, stop at the marathon and then put your name out there also if you got good breakfast. If you got those biscuits that be wrapped up in aluminum foil that stay nice and moist and soft, we want you too, baby. Okay, so let's get this going now. Quit doing my squad like this. Let's go. 3ATL can't be the only ones eating good now. We got to get started in the morning. We get started with Ramon, Kayla, and Will. All 3 of them doing a damn good job. Let's go now. All right, y'all. Much love. Deuces. Peace. I love y'all.
Mike.
Thank you, Mike.
Be safe on the road, man.
Go ahead and cut a promo for us.
I love it. Mike.
I love it.
What a
I do kind of
warrior.
feel bad. I thought about it.
Yeah.
In doing that read and giving out Dave's number.
Oh,
Like I feel like we're choosing a little bit of violence, giving out Dave's number like at like 7 in the morning.
Personal number?
tidbit of violence.
Well, yeah, that's the read. That's the sale.
If you put something on a piece of paper and say read it and it's your number, that's on you.
That's right. That's right. We're gonna do it at 6:20 tomorrow. I'm just kidding.
Right?
Good morning, Dave.
Good
615-737-1045. When we come back, your chance to head to Knoxville this weekend. If you're looking for Tennessee tickets, if you've got your black half zip ready with the orange power tee like Ramon Foster's got today. He doesn't have the orange power tee, but he's got the black half zip ready. Fits into it. It fits well now. You can you can get tickets from us, of course. On the other side, your chance on the phone lines to head to Knoxville this weekend. Plus, Coach Dave McGinnis, Titans Radio's head coach, joins us when we come back, talking Titans and Texans next on 104.5 The Zone.
When it comes to large home repairs, a lot of the time we homeowners pretend we don't see the warning signs. We are afraid of what we're going to hear. This is especially true with waterproofing and foundation repair. It could be something big that needs to be fixed now, or it could be a small problem that'll turn into a bigger problem later. Or it might not be anything at all. In these moments, though, you want a peace of mind. That's when you need United Structural Systems. With USS, you get problem solvers, experts to educate you and help you understand what's happening with your home. USS will provide an honest diagnosis and stand by their work and warranties. USS is based right here in Middle Tennessee and is a member of our community. So when it comes to something as important as your home, USS is the company who cares and the company you can trust. USS serving Middle Tennessee, Southern Kentucky, and Northern Alabama. Find them online at USSTN.com or call us 615-227-2275. We guarantee our best. Call USS.
That music could only mean one thing. Titans Radio's head coach is in the building. Welcome back in on Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors on 104.5 The Zone. Before we get to Coach Mack here with us, we give you the chance to head to Knoxville to see the Tennessee Volunteers suit up in a black helmet for the first time in ever in the history of University of Tennessee football. I don't know how many years because Butch Jones is no longer the coach and no longer denotes what team this is. But it's been a lot of years. Caller number 5 right now on Tennessee Ticket Thursday is heading to Knoxville this weekend. 615-737-1045. Be caller number 5 to win tickets to see Tennessee, Kentucky, courtesy of Famous Dave's Barbecue. Get the best barbecue for your buck only at Famous Dave's. 615-737-1045. Talk to Jonathan Schaefer and get your black and orange to head to Knoxville this weekend. Will Bowling, Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson with you. Good morning, Coach Mack.
Can I say something about those uniforms?
You may.
Sir.
Mm-hmm.
That is solid. I saw it yesterday. I went, whoa.
Yeah.
And you know what? The Vols orange sets it off.
Pops.
Yeah.
I mean, it sets it off. And look, I'm not, a fashion icon, but I know what looks good, and that looks good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that really looks solid. And you know what else sets it off? The black helmet.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
The black helmet, and that is going to be a good look.
Mac, when it comes down to coaching and changing of eras, I'm sure there's some stuff you let up a little bit and kept the same on a lot of stuff. Or a lot of people are like, no, keep it traditional. Sometimes you got to kind of grease it a little bit, right? With a little flair, jersey, shoes, or something, right?
Well, especially in this day and age, once Phil Knight started doing all that stuff up there in Oregon, then everybody started cascading off of it because you're talking about when you're getting your 17, 18-year-old, 19-year-olds coming in there. I mean, and somebody else has all of that. Look, it's still the dudes in the uniform.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. And the tradition, I really love tradition. And there's a great tradition in Tennessee. There's a great tradition, at Penn State. There's a great tradition. But to offset it but if you offset it, do it with something that is going to look good and do it with something that's going to make even the traditionalist will look at it and say, wow, that's pretty good. This looks really good. And then if you go out and win a game in it, then you're working.
That's right.
Yeah.
Coach Dave McGinnis brought to you by Farm Bureau Health Plans. For 75 years, Tennesseans have been relying on Farm Bureau Health Plans for their health care coverage. Why? Better rates, better coverage, and better service. Sunday in Houston, Coach Mack, the last 3 times that Derrick Henry has played the Houston Texans, he's run for 200 yards.
Yeah, well, different Texans team. He didn't play him last year.
Right.
So it's entirely different. I mean, the fact is he did against the Houston Texans name. It's a completely different team. And that's the thing that, look, Derrick Henry, I promise you, is not thinking this is Houston, so I'm going for 200. That's not where his mindset is. His mindset is, what are these people going to do this time? Because we were just talking before we jumped on the air, and we'll let our listeners in on this, is that every time Derrick Henry shows up or somebody else shows up here to play Derrick Henry, I dive into film really deep, and you look at it, and all defensive coaches that come in here, defensive coordinators, when they play Derrick Henry, they do different things. They start shading their gaps different. They put more people up front, even if they're not playing 8 people in the box quite a bit. You see it all the time against Derrick Henry. So that's his life. That's his life. That's the Titans' life in the National Football League right now. So they're going to stack it against him because they know, just like we do, once that guy gets rolling, then everything gets rolling. This is going to be, and you didn't ask this question, but I'm going to start going on down this road. This is going to be a game for 2 running backs because they got a dude too. Now, he's built different, but this Damian Pierce kid that they have down there is a legit back. Yep. You remember, Ramon, we were doing the draft, and Rhett kept talking about him on the second day. Rhett Bryan really liked this kid, and they didn't use him at all at Florida, and that's their fault. But this guy is something that the Titans are concentrating on also. So what I'm saying is look for this game to be a game where both teams offensively try to get things established on the ground in some form or fashion.
Does it make you feel better, though, Coach Mack, that Jeffrey Simmons told me this yesterday, that they have really, for the most part, shut down most of the backs that have come their way? he's very confident in the ability to shut down the run, but every back is different.
Every back's different, but it's a relevant question because the second half of the Giants was a disaster against the run.
It was.
And they know it too, and that really hurt their pride. That bothers them because as a defensive coach and a defensive player, there is nothing that just strips you of everything that you want to be more than somebody running the football on you at will. That is just really bad stuff. That takes you right down to the heart of what you are. And so since then, yes, they've been very good against the run, and they've done it. We talked about it in here when asking what was happening, in the game where they weren't very good. Well, look, those 8 gaps have not changed in 150 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Those 8 gaps are the same.
Yep.
But you've got to stay in it, to run the ball and to be able to play the run. It's a mental thing, play after play after play. You've got to dedicate yourself to it because you can't just let off any at all and say it's different than the throwing game. The throwing game, sometimes you can let yourself off maybe it's half the field because the ball's going to, running the football goes right at the heart of everybody. So they have done a good job with it, and they're going to be forced to do a good job this week too, Kayla, because I know Lovey. I know Lovey very well for a long time. And Lovey has gotten head coaching jobs. He's developed his career on being a defensive coach. And when he's been a head coach, he's run the football.
Mac, when it comes down to a team that's 1-4-1, they've been competing. It's been competitive, Coach. As coaches that's preparing their team, I ain't gonna say I hated it. We were like, man, this team isn't that good until you get into that game and you realize, look, this is a football game where physicality and momentum will take a team a long way. You can't take this week softly right here.
I mean, look, you played a long time in this league on the offensive line. Did you ever go into a game thinking this is going to be a not very hard day? No, it's because it's just too hard. It really is, and especially against a division opponent. I mean, we got a dose of that last year, and not to say that they were taking them lightly, but all of a sudden you go in there and you turn it over 5 times, and I don't care who it is. And so, look, I don't even. Rhett and I just taped something, that they play for on Friday nights at halftime at all the high school games that carry the zone, and he started off with 1-4-1 Texans, and I said, let's just start off with Texans.
Yeah.
Because 1-4-1 doesn't even register with me. I don't care.
Right.
Yeah.
I know what I'm looking at, when I start to watch him. And I promise you, up there, Mike Vrabel, you guys been around him long enough. You think he's ever even uttered the words 1-4-1 out of his mouth this week?
Don't care.
So don't care.
Yeah. But on the other side of that, too, team facing a little bit of adversity, they released a starter or a productive player, Camus Gruyer-Hill. The guy that's coming into the spot is probably way more motivated, younger probably, and out for, putting his stake in the ground in his professional career too. This could be something that could work in the Texans' favor.
Well, there's something going on down there, and as whatever that is, whatever that situation is, I could care less. I just don't know how. The thing that's going to. I mean, I just know he's not going to be there playing.
Yeah.
The Davis kid from Alabama's the kid they're going to put in there.
Yeah.
To play. He's the guy you're talking about, Ramon. That's going to get a chance to go in there and play. So, look, you're going to have to block who's ever in the gap. That's going to be important. You're going to have to block who's ever in the gap. And so, to me, whatever the circumstances were, causing him to want to transfer and leave out of there, that's between he and his head coach and whoever else is involved. I don't care. What I want us to be able to do is go down there and identify pretty quickly what they are doing and get Derrick Henry going.
Yeah.
Coach Mack with us this morning on Ramon, Kayla, and Will. On the offensive side of the football, Coach Mack for Houston, 3 first-round pick offensive linemen. Most recently, the left guard from Texas A&M, Kenyon Green. The right tackle out of Alabama State from 2019, Titus Howard. And, of course, Laramie Tunsil needs no introduction based on what he's done in his career. What do you see from them up front? How improved is that group compared to the group that was here in Nashville last year up front?
Well, they're improved for this reason. They're dedicated to run the football, and they've got it. Lovey's given them an identity. Okay, when you're searching for an identity, it really doesn't matter, how good you are. Until you can find an identity, nobody can ever get in lockstep. Lovey's given them an identity with Dameon Pierce. They're going to run the ball. So you just said they're 3 number 1 picks. Look, Houston has not had a good record for a long time. All right. And when you don't have a good record in the National Football League, where do you get to draft? At the top. And where are most of the premium players? I mean, just the way it works. At the top. So they've got some guys in there. Now, you've got to pick the right guys, but your chances are a lot better. I mean, Ramon's done some drafts with us, recently, and you start looking at guys, and you can pretty much go, well, here's the top 12, here's the top 14, here's the top 15. And you don't only get them in the first round. It's round after round after round.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, they're doing a lot better because they've got an identity.
And their secondary, if you look at
there you go.
The secondary, I want to ask you about that because that's a strong point on this team that continues to get better for Houston.
You're 100% correct. And you look at that group. That group is legit. They are very legit, and that's why it's even more important that we get the run game going so that we don't have to stand back there and try to spin it 40 times. Because look, those 2 rookies, Petrie and Stingley.
Yep.
Those are legit dudes. Those are legit dudes, that they got, again, in the draft at the top of the rounds where they were going, vetted both of them and looked at them and said, these are nice players. Well, there they are. But, Kayla, you are so correct. Their secondary is really stout. And then also their sub part of their secondary, when they put their nickel or their dime in, they've got dudes. And so you're 100% correct with that. The thing that helps a little bit, Greenard's out. Their pass rusher, Jerry Hughes, Frog.
Undefeated Frog.
Undefeated Frog. I mean, has been there a while, but he's better when he has his partner on the other side with him.
Right.
But the secondary, their pass coverage unit, and the fact that they're able to bogey and move around in disguise, and that's a strength for that team.
It is, for sure, Coach. Third down for this team. That's one of the reasons why the Texans have been where they are. They're giving up a good percentage on third downs. The run game has to be a huge part in keeping their defense and getting points this weekend for the Titans.
Yeah, and you know what? The Titans, and I know this is great analysis. I know this is 37 years in the National Football League.
I love it, Coach.
This is really good analysis here for you guys. We need to score touchdowns instead of kicking field goals.
Yeah. There we go.
Especially against a team like this, because if you go in there and you're able to move the ball, however we move the ball, but you get in the red zone where this team has been successful up until last week, getting into the red zone and then getting into the end zone with touchdowns, and so that Randy Bullock is kicking extra points instead of kicking field goals. That's going to be a big point of emphasis, I am sure. With what's going on with the Titans this week, regardless of who the quarterback is, we still need to be able to keep that red zone train rolling that they were on.
Yeah.
Coach Mack, Derrick Henry had 11 carries for 67 yards in the fourth quarter of Sunday's win over the Colts. What did you like specifically about the way the offense got him moving late on in that game?
They just kept grinding it, and you could tell. And finally, at the end, and let's say this, and I'm not being derogatory, but I'm just saying what I know. Indy finally had enough.
Right?
No, right?
Yeah,
of the run.
did.
No, they finally had enough,
Yeah,
and
they
it was so prophetic. Right before we had a break, and then Rhett Bryan told Mike Keith, he said, "God, this is an Eddie George game with Eddie George here and all these guys here."
Yeah.
And then Mike Keith, said, and now Eddie George has. So, because it was.
Yeah.
And I was on some of those teams, with Eddie George, and I was on, when some teams would finally say, that's enough. We've had enough. And you could see it, especially in the last 2 runs. The one where Ben Jones and the whole group just picked him up and started moving it. I mean,
Incredible.
How happy would you be, Ramon, if you were an offensive guard when that happened?
Coach Mack, listen to me.
Oh,
the game. Listen to me. The game is won at that point.
Gets the people going.
Yeah.
Like legitimately, like I heard Jeff bring this up too. Like when you come to that line of scrimmage and you play big boy ball, the over between the line of scrimmage, like legitimately, like looking at somebody in the face. At that point, Kayla, I'm looking at them. I'm listening to the play and I'm looking back at the line of scrimmage. Like y'all know what's going to happen from here. Like the game is done.
That's
That's
point.
what happened.
I've been in over 700 of them, and I know that when you start to do that, it's done. And Indy had enough. It was done. That's what I mean. And so you ask me, how was Derrick Henry? Derrick Henry has made some of the best so far this season, in my humble opinion, some of the best 3 and 4 and 5 yard runs ever. Because, when there's about 5 times so far that he's broken out and everybody starts to stand up a little bit, because I just want to see him. I mean, I know all of y'all have been to racetracks before, horse races, and when they come around that turn, everybody stands up because they know that they're going to watch all of those thoroughbreds just go flat out, all out, full tilt to the end, and that's what people want. That's what Derrick Henry wants.
Yeah.
You can tell he wants to hit that gear. And so, but you got to keep pounding to do it.
On the note of Derrick Henry, real quick, when I was talking to Ben Jones yesterday in the locker room, I had asked him about Derrick, and just there's so much respect between the two of them, especially. But he goes, Derrick comes to me after almost every game and says, "What can I do better?" He said, Derrick is a perfectionist.
Oh, you know who else was like that? I'm glad and that's good insight. I'm glad you said that, because you can. When you've got that kind of symbiosis between your offensive line and a running back, Ramon, I'm really smart.
I heard that right there, man. Okay.
Hey, TCU graduate.
Go
Frogs.
Frogs. Go Frogs.
Frog.
If your team isn't undefeated, please don't add us. Thanks.
Who used to do that?
Oh, go.
Walter Payton.
Walter Payton. Yeah.
Walter would go. Walter would go to Jim Covert, and and he would go to Jay Hilgenberg, who was the center for all those years there, and Keith Van Horn, and say, "What do you guys need me to do?"
That's the best thing.
No, I mean, and
Impressive.
so to me, and Derrick doesn't talk a lot. You know that, Kayla.
Yeah.
You're there. I mean, he doesn't talk a lot, but he is so focused on what he's doing right now in his craft that I can't wait till he gets that one where he can stretch it out. And so just get ready, because I will lose my mind in that broadcast.
Oh, I can't wait, Coach.
We're ready for it. Coach Dave McGinnis, the NFL has been relying on him for 37 years, and for 75 years, Tennesseans have been relying on Farm Bureau Health Plans for their health care coverage, better rates, better coverage, and better service. Thank you, Coach Mack.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
I just wanted to come in here early and see if y'all are awake this early. And
Yeah.
you are
We're going.
wide awake.
By the way, this is actually the Phil Knight look. I've met him in person. This is actually the look.
Oh, I like
He's
it.
got the black coat, trench coat. This is the look, Mac. He's got the hair.
Not like Matt.
You're the South's Phil Knight.
Phil Knight wants to be like Coach Dave McGinnis, not the other way around, though.
Pretty much.
All right, that's
Don't we all?
that's enough at 7:30 in the morning.
Let me put my glasses on. real
See you.
quick, man.
Coach
Let me-
Mack with us.
let me get right
We
real
continue
quick,
the
man.
conversation where Russell Wilson is at it again. Oh, no. Well, we tell you what's going on. 104.5 The Zone up next.
I could care less about Barkley's work.
I understand.
Summer's over, but that joint pain is still there, and it's time to do something about it. Hey, it's Ramon Faustin. I want you to call QC Kinetics now because you've put this off long enough. It's time to get real lasting relief from your chronic pain in your knees and back and shoulders and hips. QC Kinetics can get you moving again with cutting-edge regenerative treatments with no drugs, no downtime, and no surgery. Regenerative medicine uses highly concentrated healing properties from your own body to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. And QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in this exciting breakthrough natural approach to eliminating joint pain. Lots of people here have already done this, and they're living life to the fullest, pain-free. So don't assume the old ways of dealing with joint pain are the only ways. Call QC Kinetics today. Stop putting it off. Call now for a free consultation at 615-249-4024. Again, the number is 615-249-4024. One of the things I love about Genesis Diamonds is they're always bringing in new and fresh jewelry and diamonds. You're never going to see the same old pieces at Genesis. With their diamonds, they're always bringing in fresh cut stones straight from the world's best cutters. Every size you can imagine, including the larger rare diamonds, 3 and 5 and even 10 carats if you need that. With their designer jewelry, Genesis has partnered with all the top designers from New York and Los Angeles, and they are on the cutting edge when it comes to what's in style, what's hot, what's new and different. The stuff you see in Genesis, you will not find at other stores. I guarantee it. So it's a constantly moving, constantly changing inventory and always new selections. It's another reason why Genesis dominates the jewelry scene here and why people drive for 2 hours or more to be able to shop at this amazing store. They've got it all. Huge selections, uncompromising quality, unbeatable value, ironclad warranties, and white glove customer service. And don't forget the luxury pre-owned Rolexes too. Continuously voted best jeweler and best place to buy an engagement ring. Genesis Diamonds, located in Green Hills and Cool Springs.
Thursday edition of Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. Appreciate Coach Mac stopping by at 7:20. I do like having Coach Mac earlier on in the morning.
Yeah, I was like, this is different.
It's like a shot of espresso for the rest of the show.
It is.
We're ready to go.
Mac brings it, man. Always does.
Right?
And I like that Mac gets to the point to where he's just like, you know what? This is the ball game moment. Like he gives us like
around.
meeting room Coach Mac,
Yeah.
and that's what I love.
I could care less about Barkley's work.
I understand.
Right?
There we go.
My favorite part of that audio is Mike. He's like, I understand.
I could care less about Barkley's work.
I understand.
Wow.
That's fantastic.
That is so funny.
So yesterday on Twitter, Zach Stevens, covering the Denver Broncos for DNVR Broncos, I can hear the annoyance in Kayla Anderson's voice as we begin to tell this story.
I just can't.
Tweets this out about former Seattle Seahawk and former quarterback of Kayla Anderson, Russell Wilson. Broncos are playing in London against the London Jaguars this weekend, and the tweet is, Russell Wilson worked out and stretched for 4 of the 8 hours on the flight from Denver to London. Said he was doing...
Do it. Say it. Do
Said
it.
he was doing high knees in the aisle when the rest of the guys were asleep. Ramon Foster, please give me the exact reaction if QB1 woke you up on a flight from Pittsburgh to London because he was doing high knees.
Freaking bum.
somewhere over the Atlantic Ocean.
Hey, Russ. Hey, man, I like you.
No, you don't.
Will you sit your...
How deep I gotta dig for you to pipe down?
Yeah, will you... Russ, we're not even playing yet.
Would you sit...
What? Can you please sit down, man? Like, you're making the rest of us look bad. Now the strength and conditioning coach gonna make us work out on the plane. Like, what are you doing?
So
active rest, man.
You know what this tells me?
What?
It's that no one in that locker room likes him enough to tell him to shut up and
No,
sit down.
because that's why I'd be straight up Tanya Harding and take the crowbar.
Yeah. I'm probably glad he's out. No, for real.
Done.
Well, that's the best point of it all right there, y'all. They probably don't like him enough to actually be able to tell him the truth. They probably get even more mad because he's underperformed.
Well, that's sad.
Yeah.
If that's the case.
But because think about it, you can be real with your friends, right?
Yeah.
But somebody else,
You don't care.
You want to see him sink. Like,
Sit on it and spit.
Yeah.
But it just stinks that that's the quarterback, the starting quarterback that you paid a lot of money for, that said, "Oh, let's ride," and it's been far from a ride. It's not been a ride.
It's been turbulence.
It's been a ride to you know where.
By the way, I'm a little it bothers me when people get on a plane like doing silly stuff like jumping up and down on the airplane. I know it's not gonna make the plane fall out of the air, but you got those idiot friends that like jump up and down on elevators and stuff.
Yeah, right.
Like I hate those type of people, the ones that touch all the buttons on an elevator too. Like that's basically what Russ did. You're jumping.
But for 4 hours, that's the biggest thing. I can see if you get up, need to stretch, need to do something. That's a long flight. For 4 hours?
Yeah. I'm with you, Will. That's the best one. I don't think they like him enough as a teammate to actually go tell him the truth. And that sucks.
So I was listening to one of the broadcasters, not on the actual Broncos broadcast, but another broadcaster, I'm not going to name names, was saying that paying attention to Russ when he like goes to, kind of give high fives with this team, he's going out of his way because they're not coming to him. They're trying to go the other way.
Mm-hmm.
Just starting to look at how this team is reacting to Russ, and you're really starting to see that maybe that is the case.
So what was the switch? Kayla, you've been like, what, did Seattle do it to him?
You guys, let's be honest. When he came back to play Seattle this year, did you guys hear the crowd?
Yeah.
Did you hear the crowd?
Yeah.
They were booing.
And I'll be honest, at the time, I criticized
a lot of people
fans
were
for
mad
that.
at Seattle fans.
I was one of
what
them.
I will say about the Northwest, and I've said it on here before, we're as real as you get. We're nice people, but we're as real as you get. And so they knew what was going on up there, and I had talked with photogs up there that cover the team, and they always had told me he's a fraud. And you start to kind of see everything come out now. I think Pete Carroll is the one that comes out looking like the winner in this one.
Yeah.
Because it's looking like Russ is maybe the bigger problem.
And just also, it's former teammates.
Yeah.
Like if Russ does get into the Hall of Fame, it's going to be people that he met post-football. not as actual teammates at this point.
All the former Seahawks come back to see Pete, say good things about Pete. What are they saying about Russ?
Marshawn, who's probably the most favorite real player in the league, just like even he don't have your number.
That's what I'm saying.
Or he got to call your assistant to get in touch with you, Russ?
Not great.
No.
615-737-1045. When we come back, fraud and for real in the NFL, round 2. Who has moved into the fraud category and who is maybe now for real who we thought were frauds a month ago when we did this exercise. Halftime of the show, start of the third quarter next. Ramon, Kayla, and Will, 104.5 The Zone.
One of the things I love about Genesis Diamonds is they're always bringing in new and fresh jewelry and diamonds. You're never going to see the same old choices at Genesis. With diamonds, they're always bringing in fresh cut stones, straight from the world's best jewelry, diamond cutters, every size you can imagine, including larger, rare diamonds, 3 and 5 and even 10 carats. With designer jewelry, Genesis has partnered with all the top designers from New York and Los Angeles, and they're on the cutting edge when it comes to what's in style, what's hot, what's new and different. The stuff you see in Genesis you will not find at other stores, guaranteed. And it's constantly moving, constantly changing inventory, all new selections. It's another reason why Genesis dominates the jewelry scene here and why people drive for 2 hours and more to be able to shop at Genesis. They've got it all. Huge selection, uncompromising quality, unbeatable value, ironclad warranties, and white glove customer service, and luxury pre-owned Rolexes too. Continuously voted best jeweler and best place to buy an engagement ring. Genesis Diamonds, available at Green Hills and in Cool Springs.
8:01, good morning. I'm Jonathan Schaefer from the Superbook.com sports desk. The Titans returned to the practice field yesterday, though some of their star players did not. Ryan Tannehill, Jeffrey Simmons, Rashawn Weaver, and Torrey Carter did not practice. Tannehill suffering from an ankle sprain. His status is uncertain for Sunday. Aaron Brewer, Dylan Cole, Morgan Cox, Nate Davis, Bud Dupree, Ben Jones, and David Long limited participants. The Texans have released linebacker Kamu Grugier-Hill at his request. He was the team's third leading tackler. The Chicago Bears traded pass rusher Robert Quinn to the Philadelphia Eagles in exchange for a fourth-round draft pick. Thursday Night Football, Baltimore at Tampa Bay tonight. You can hear the game on the Zone with kickoff at 7:15. To the NHL, Blues at Predators, Bridgestone Arena, 7 o'clock puck drop tonight off of Broadway. The Preds are winless in their last 5 games. To the NBA, Memphis at Sacramento, 9 o'clock tip on the West Coast. For foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your Over the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Second half of the show, and we get better as the game continues. On Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors on 104.5 The Zone. Your chance to head to Bridgestone Arena tonight to see the Preds take on the Blues coming up here in hour number 3. Ben Arthur of Fox Sports covering the AFC South hits the headlines around the division and talks Titans and Texans with us. And we take your phone calls at 615-737-1045 with 11-year NFL veteran Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson, Will Bowling, and the best producer in the world, Jonathan Schaefer. Making the show
best
happen.
producer in the world. The world, Craig. The world.
The world. That is right. Jason is in Nashville up next on the phone lines at 615-737-1045. Good morning, Jason. Jason, what's up?
Uh-oh.
And goodbye, Jason. All right. So fraud versus for real, round number 2, if we're ready to do this right now.
Yeah.
Second time that we have done this exercise. Yeah. Last time, Jonathan Schaefer, remind us who your team that was for real last time.
I don't want to talk about it.
No, I'm serious. I was legitimately asking because I don't remember what yours was. But
I had the Niners for real.
Okay.
Even though they had a bad loss with Kansas City, I think they still are for real.
Sure.
My fraud was the Giants.
Okay.
And I still think they're frauds.
Kayla had the Bengals for real.
Uh-huh.
And who did you have as your fraud again?
I can't remember. Let me think on that real quick.
Kayla's for real team worked out probably better than anyone's.
Yeah.
Because my team that was for real was Baltimore, and Ramon's was the Jaguars.
Yeah. Mine was the Jags.
Yep.
Frauds was Green Bay, and it's still frauds.
I think my fraud was the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Okay. And then my fraud was, oh, goodness. I don't know. Now
I know. That's what me too. Exactly.
What the hell, Will? Come on,
Dang,
baby.
guys, we got to pull that show back.
My for real team was the Jags, and now they are currently my frauds.
Oh, wow. Okay.
At least you admit it.
From 100 to 0.
No, for real. 2-5 on the season, man, with losses to the friggin' Commanders. Only wins going to the Colts and to the Chargers. Like, they really took off after that Chargers win, and I was just like, goodness gracious. Mm-hmm. But they ended up going, they lost to the Texans, lost to the Colts, and to the Giants. Giants, I give them a pass on because the Giants seem like they're for real right now, although they're not my for real team. But since then, they've traded away James Robinson. I don't know what this offense is going to be looking like in general. I've been saying for the longest that I think Trevor Lawrence is going to be the guy. And for some reason, I don't know if they're tanking for more high-round draft picks to build for next year. That's a conspiracy theory type of thing, and I don't want to subscribe to that at all. But they have gone from just the penthouse to the crap house really fast, okay?
Whoa.
That's where they are. They're the old Jags right now where you go to Jacksonville, get a dub, and then you leave. That's the way I view them. They tricked me, y'all. They did.
Yeah.
The frauds.
They really tricked you because you spent a good 15 minutes on stats with them.
I did. I still like Trevor Lawrence, but I'm just like, I like that. Well,
I don't know.
Kayla, let me say this.
I don't know.
Let me say this. I like the idea of them.
You like the idea. You got sucked in with everybody else with all this quarterback hype that always goes on in college and taking that quarterback that you think is going to be the guy. That is the one thing I've never been a fan of because half the time it ends up not working. Now, I am not saying that he is not going to come into his own, but from what I've seen right now, and you have to say he was pushed back last year because of Urban, I don't like it. I don't like the direction he's going in terms of growth.
Yeah. It's hard times are real for the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're pit of misery right now, so I stand corrected, Kayla. You laughed at me when I put the Jags as a for-real team. I remember that. I heard the laugh. I remember it. It's ingrained.
Yeah.
Kayla, you're fraud.
Yeah, so my fraud, first of all, I don't like either LA teams. Can I just say that? I think both LA teams got so much hype
that
during
was mine. The Rams, sorry.
Was it the Rams? Okay.
Yes, I just remember.
So, and that's the thing. I'm not seeing anything different, but I am actually going to stick with the Rams as a fraud for me because, first and foremost, Matthew Stafford, great job on getting a Super Bowl win last year, but I've never been a huge believer in Matthew Stafford. I think he's still dealing with things injury-wise. I just don't think as much money as they've put into this team and brought star names, those guys aren't doing everything that they need to do right now for this team to be on the same page. I just think everybody's on a different page. In terms of moving forward, I'm looking at their schedule right now because they just beat the Panthers like 24-10. Okay, whatever. That's a bad Panthers team. They got the 49ers coming up, and as much as you want to think the 49ers are possibly frauds, I could see that being a game that they lose. I don't know. I'm looking at this Rams team, and I don't think that they're for real. I think they're very different from last year's Super Bowl team.
I like it. Jonathan Schaefer?
My fraud is a fraud that I share with you, the New York Jets.
There you go.
So you're sticking with that.
Yeah,
okay.
the 5-2, no.
Yeah.
They're better. I thought they would be better this year. I think they are trending in the right direction. Yes, their record says who they are at 5-2, but I don't have any faith in this team, especially in that quarterback play. They still don't have any quarterback play. And now they've had to get James Robinson come in from Jacksonville because Breece Hall had a season-ending knee injury. So I don't believe in the Jets. Am I for real?
Oh, Jets. Sorry, I thought you said Giants. My bad.
And for real, Ramon?
Yeah.
Earmuffs.
Uh-oh.
Cincinnati Bengals.
I almost went that direction, too.
Because they're figuring it out.
Jumping on the Kayla train here.
Massive phrasing. They had massive struggles at the beginning of the season.
Whoops.
That look of will made the joke completely worth it.
Whoopsie daisy.
But they're getting their offensive line figured out. And let's not forget, this was a very good defense at the end of last season. They played extremely well. Yeah. That defense is playing well. Joe Burrow is a very good quarterback. He is a star, will continue to be a star.
Joe Cool Burrow, sorry.
And I think the Cincinnati Bengals are for real, even more so than the Baltimore Ravens. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. For me, the Jets are also my fraud. About half of that is because of Breece Hall's injury. Breece Hall reached a max speed of 21.87 miles per hour on his touchdown run over the weekend over Denver. Second fastest ball carrier speed in the NFL this season. But to me, it's the quarterback play. And I'm going to double down on the take that Zach Wilson is a bottom 5 quarterback in the NFL because of this stat, Ramon. The Jets are the first team since the 2011 Tim Tebow-led Broncos to win consecutive games with 105 or less net passing yards.
Yeah.
Whenever you are in the same category as Tim Tebow in the NFL, it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
They got James Robinson.
They do have James Robinson.
He's ready to run,
and I
too.
think Sauce Gardner is for real.
For real.
Is
the
legit.
corner that they've got from Cincinnati, the first-round pick, who has just been terrific and is in the conversation for Defensive Rookie of the Year this year. He probably is the conversation right now for Defensive Rookie of the Year. He's putting up the kind of numbers Trayvon Diggs did as a rookie a few years back and what he was able to do in Dallas. So when he was targeted over the weekend, Brent Rippon had a quarterback rating of 42.4 when targeting Sauce Gardner. So I think he's for real. I think the Jets are frauds. I don't think you can win like that with quarterback play that poor without somebody else to pick up the mantle on offense. And that guy just tore his ACL and is out for the season in Breece Hall. Our for real teams. Ramon.
Okay. Our for real teams. You ready for this one?
Yep.
I was hesitant in my top 7 at some point in time, but this team for me has been everything.
Okay.
Dallas Cowboys are my for real team.
Okay.
5-2 on the season, and that's with Cooper Rush leading them. Also won with Dak back last week. Had a little rust on them also. This is the thing that solidifies them to me. Valid backups at multiple positions, at quarterback and at running back also, man. The team surrounded him to win. He managed it well, and that's what you're going to need if Dak does have another setback or something crazy goes on. Dak can possibly push them over the top. Rush's passing percentage was only 57.7%, and he still went 4-1 in that time while Dak was out.
Yeah.
Says a lot about how good they are as a team around him. Tony Pollard, okay, let's just go there for a little bit. This dude has been crushing it for years.
That's
it's
Will's
almost
guy.
like, when is he going to get the big contract? Because he needs it. He deserves it. He's worked his butt off, man.
Yep.
Zeke possibly not being out this week. Zeke possibly being out this week. Are you worried about the Dallas run game? No, because they got Tony Pollard right there, man. He has been legit as anybody. They have been legit as almost anybody. Only 11 sacks given up offensively this year in general. And I don't think they have the best line as they've had in years past, but they're still good getting the ball out, protecting the ball. I expect the offensive passing production to go up with Dak being back in. Couple that with the running game. They have a very strong offense. Also, the other side of it, because it's 3 phases, their kicker, Brett Maher, is 4 from 6 from 50-plus this year, and he's perfect from everywhere else as far as field goals. He has missed 1 extra point. They score in all phases. Defense has forced 8 fumbles this year. The defense has carried them. It legitimately has. They got 7 interceptions. Micah Parsons already has 8 sacks on the season. Probably Defensive Player of the Year this year, if I'm not mistaken. It was really close last year.
Solid.
DeMarcus Lawrence also has turned the switch on himself. 5 TFLs, and he's just been a nightmare for a run game, not even just a passing game. He's been a nightmare for run games this year. Also, Dorrance Armstrong also got 5 sacks on the season at DN on the other side of Marcus Lawrence. The defense is carried him while he was out. And also, Trayvon Diggs on the backside, too.
Dude, Diggs is
so good.
3. He's still the ball hawk.
That guy.
He has his moments, but don't throw in his direction because he's going to get. He's Johnny on the spot at all times. Dallas Cowboys, for real.
Okay.
Kayla?
The star. So it would be boring if I stuck with my for real that I went with the first time. That's all y'all's maybe for real. And that's the Cincinnati Bengals.
Right.
So I'm still on that train because I love Joe Burrow. However, I am going to give my Seattle Seahawks. That's right.
Ooh,
You
okay.
can all say that they're not for real, but I'm going to give my Seattle Seahawks my for real this week. The reason why, I had just mentioned the LA Rams, and in the NFC West, a very weird division right now because it just doesn't seem like a lot is going on in terms of good football. Just for the opposite reason, I think that is what the Seattle Seahawks are playing. And give this team a lot of credit because when Russ Wilson said, "See you later, Pacific Northwest. I'm going to ride in Denver." I think that Pete Carroll was ecstatic, probably. And I think Geno Smith was like, all right, you guys all want to hate on me. You guys all want to say that I'm just trash. And look, he's a backup quarterback. For the most part, that's what we've seen him as. We've never been able to see him consistently take his team to right now where he's taking it. But you know the NFL, players can do some weird things. Motivation can come in some weird ways. And right now, Geno Smith is doing his thing in Seattle. And you also have to give a lot of credit to Pete Carroll for keeping this group together, keeping them believing when nobody else wanted to give them a shot. There's still plenty of football to be played right now, but they have the New York Giants coming to Seattle, the loudest stadium in the NFL. If you've never been there, I suggest go up and watch a game. I think the Giants could be handed a loss by the Seattle Seahawks. And also, let's shout out to the rookie running back, Kenneth Walker, who's doing his part as well, which is a very big part of that offense right now.
I agree.
Seattle Seahawks.
My for real is those New York Football Giants.
Okay. Head to head here.
That's right. Brian Daboll has been, which happened last time, too.
It
when I
did.
picked the Ravens and you picked the Bengals.
Yeah.
And Brian Daboll has made Daniel Jones comfortable as a runner and has made him more comfortable in that offense, despite losing 2 offensive linemen in Jacksonville over the weekend. They still find a way to win that game. Career high 49.4 rushing yards per game for Danny Dimes, including 110 and a rushing score on Sunday.
Wow.
And Saquon Barkley has become a Derrick Henry-esque closer in the fourth quarter. Through the first 3 quarters on Sunday in Jacksonville, he ran 14 times for 38 yards. In the fourth quarter, he had 10 carries for 72 yards. I said with Coach Mack on Sunday, Derrick Henry's total, 11 for 67. It's identical what he's been able to do. I think the Brian Daboll coached New York Giants are so similar to the Mike Vrabel coached Tennessee Titans.
Yeah.
And the way they run the football, the way that they play defense, and the way they just figure it out. They've got such a small margin for victory this season in the games they have won, but they've only got 1 loss. And they've looked good this season. So New York, I think, is for real in one aspect and a fraud in another. One side of New York is good. The other, I think, is going to be negative. The Giants on the good side and the Jets on the bad side.
Also, the Cowboys just traded for a run stopper, Jonathan Hankins, too, from the Raiders.
There you go.
They're trying to stack up, too.
Yeah,
there's a headline on the way out of the segment. 615-737-1045 is the number. And when we come back, we hit the AFC South headlines with Ben Arthur of Fox Sports. He's covered the Titans for the Tennessee, and now from a division perspective, where does he put this Tennessee Titans team right now based on what Derrick Henry has done, but also the way this defense continues to look with the addition of Bud Dupree back into the lineup? Ben Arthur joins us coming up next on Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors, 104.5 The Zone. Yeah, high school football coming back up again tomorrow. And I want to remind you again, too, that football season is here. And the partners in this city that partner with high school football, out of all of those, Lee Company is ready for games statewide. They are a proud sponsor of the Tennessee Titans, but Lee Company is locally supporting high school football here in this community. They've been a part of this community, and they have been doing it for 80 years. And they are proudly supporting Centennial and Ravenwood high school football teams and many more as well in the Nashville community. From the professional game to Friday Night Lights, community involvement is a Lee Company specialty, and it's at the heart of their mission. They have so many home services, and you can check those out. Facility Solutions, LeeCompany.com. Their phone number is 615-567-1000. Partner with a company that cares as much about this community as we do. 615-567-1000. LeeCompany.com. Lee Company, all you need. Your chance to see the Nashville Predators play tonight against the St. Louis Blues right here on The Zone. It is Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. We chat with Ben Arthur of Fox Sports in just a moment. But first, hockey is back in Smashville. Are you ready? I know I am. For the Predators tonight and the Blues. Be caller number 5 right now to win tickets to see your Nashville Predators host the St. Louis Blues. That is tonight in Bridgestone Arena. Don't miss out on this Central Division matchup. Puck drop is at 7 p.m. Single and season tickets are available at NashvillePredators.com/tickets, but you can get 2 right now by being caller number 5 at 615-737-1045. That is 615-737-1045. Caller number 5 heads to Bridgestone Arena to see the Preds and the Blues tonight. We go to the Mark Spain Real Estate Hotline, though, checking in with our friend Ben Arthur of Fox Sports, covering the AFC South. What's going on, Ben? Good morning.
Good morning, Ben.
Hi, Ben.
Good morning. Good morning, y'all. How you doing?
We're great. And first of all, congratulations on the new gig this season with Fox Sports covering the entire division. Of course, a big one between the Titans and Texans coming up this weekend. What do you make of this Titans team right now? I know you've kind of got a unique perspective being a beat writer for the team and now for the entire division, especially with Bud Dupree coming back, the defense playing the way they did over the weekend against Indianapolis.
Yeah, this is a team that I'm kind of getting the same vibes of last season, right? Just a team that just figures out ways to win. It's not going to look pretty. It may rise the blood pressure of Titans fans, but they've figured out a way to close games, to finish games. And you look across the NFL, as long as I think across the league, we've seen maybe offenses have been down. The games haven't been as pretty, but the teams that have been the best at closing games are the ones on top. And that's kind of what we've seen from the Titans at 4-2 on a 4-game winning streak. Derrick Henry has gotten going these past few weeks. The defense has continued to play that hard-nosed football. You mentioned Bud Dupree. He just adds a whole new wrinkle to that pass rush, to that defensive front, getting after opposing quarterbacks. So this is a really strong team right now that as we know, that as we all know, can really play with anyone.
Man, the way this team is constructed, and like you said, it's just typical for the Titans to get going. With them signing Chris Connolly and looking at the way other teams around this league, throw the ball around, is it actually necessary for the Titans to have a passing game with the way they play?
Obviously it's a benefit, right? When you have a strong passing game, can really push the ball downfield, win in one-on-one matchups. But I don't think that's necessarily kind of a need for this team, although I wouldn't kind of rule out maybe the Titans making a move for a receiver with the trade deadline coming up. But in terms of do they absolutely need it? No. I don't think so. I think they've been able to get enough from guys. I think in spurts we've really seen what Robert Woods has been able to do. We know the presence that Nick Westbrook-Akina has given the team, and honestly, just how Todd Downing is using those running backs in the passing game this season, right? I think we've seen Derek catching balls out of the backfield at a higher rate than we've seen before. Dontrell Hilliard has obviously been a weapon in that regard too, and Austin Hooper, right? Like having his first big game with the Titans. I think that's really something for the Titans to build on. So do they absolutely need it? No. Do I think they could use some help in that department? For sure. But in terms of Conley, I think he's a Mike Vrabel prototype, right? Just listening to, I wasn't at Titans headquarters yesterday, but listening to what he was saying, speaking to reporters, just in the pride he takes in run blocking, playing fast, being physical. I think he kind of fits the DNA of this team. So I think the Titans are still kind of positioned for success, even if they don't maybe have the best receiver room that you might want in a great team.
When it comes down also to the idea, Ryan Tannehill's a little banged up. We don't know how serious the ankle issue is. But if Malik starts and goes out and let's say have a good game, this shouldn't change any plans the Titans have moving forward with Ryan Tannehill and Malik Willis at all.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, Malik has a good game. Let's say Ryan doesn't play or is limited. Malik has to play a lot. Malik has a good game. I mean, that's great and great for, what he could potentially be for the Titans moving forward in 2023 and beyond. But this is obviously Ryan Tannehill's team. The Titans have made that clear from the moment Malik was drafted. He's kind of one of the leaders of this team, and Ryan is. They rally behind him. So that shouldn't change anything in terms of 2022 about how they kind of view the quarterback situation.
Ben, I know now that you're covering the entire AFC South, so you kind of get the lay of the land and you're seeing what these other organizations are doing right now. And let's just be honest. I mean, the Houston Texans have been a bit of a mess as of late, and maybe you've been able to look at them a little bit more in depth. We just see that linebacker Grugier Hill is on the move, preparing for the Titans this week. Probably better for the Titans to see that. But what exactly is the vibe down there, Ben? And what are you seeing as they prepare for the Titans, a division rival for them as well that I'm sure that they want to put in the win column?
Yeah, I think for them, Kayla, like the vibe has kind of been like the opposite of the Titans, not in that they don't kind of believe in themselves, but I was just kind of mentioning earlier how the Titans are a team that can finish. The Texans are a team that are still trying to figure out how to do so. I mean, I mean, as bad as the Texans have been, they're one of the best teams in the NFL through three quarters. I mean, the way they start games and entering the final period, I mean, they've been leading in most of their games. It's just for whatever reason they can't execute down the stretch. I mean, they were right in it with the Raiders last week up until early in the fourth quarter, and then they lose by 2 or 3 scores. And so this is a team that's still trying to figure out how to finish, but this is a team that can play with anyone, and it doesn't really matter how good or not good the Texans have been in previous years. We know that they play the Titans close. It's a division matchup. They stole one in Nashville last season when they were the worst team in the league. And so this is a team that knows they can be in it with anyone. It's just that they're still trying to figure out how to execute down the stretch. And but I do think offensively they have some things they're building on, right? Dameon Pierce, Davis Mills had probably his best game of the season through 3 quarters. There's so much talk about him maybe not being the guy for them long term at quarterback, but confidence is a really powerful thing in the NFL, and I think coming out of that performance, he probably has a lot of it. But then you kind of look at what's been wrong. I mean, the run defense is probably number one. They're worse in the league in kind of rushing yards allowed. And so if you're the Titans, you're kind of licking your chops, right? Because Derek has finally gotten going after kind of that slow start, 3 straight games of over 100 yards, and going up against a team that's giving up 168 yards a game. That should be priority number one for the Titans to exploit. But again, this is a Texans team that can play with anyone. It's just that execution down the stretch has been an issue.
Yeah, you had mentioned just this Texans offense being able to get going early. And so for the Titans, clearly, stopping the run early, maybe not allowing as many points early on in that game is going to be big. And Big Jeffrey Simmons said yesterday, it all starts with stopping the run. And Dameon Pierce, who you had mentioned is having a really good season. Just what about him makes him so special and maybe different from some of these other backs that they've already gone up against?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things about Dameon Pierce that makes him special. I think that run he had against Jacksonville a few weeks ago in Jacksonville, and I was actually at that game where he broke like 7 or 8 tackles on one run. I mean, this is a guy who's just extremely tough to bring down. He's one of the most physical runners in the league. I think Mike Vrabel has kind of touched on it, just kind of his patience with finding the creases and kind of those explosive cutbacks that he's had. And this is Texans offense that kind of feeds off of him. Those guys up front, they love blocking for him. And so he's one of the ascending backs in the league. I mean, a part of a really strong rookie class in terms of running backs in the NFL. And so he's going to be a handful for the Titans, really having to make sure you have him down because he can break tackles with the best of them. I think according to Pro Football Focus, he's probably, if he's not number one, I know for a fact he's in the top 3 in the league in terms of breaking tackles.
Mm-hmm.
And so, as Jeff Simmons said, yeah, he's got to be priority number one, because if you kind of stop him and make that offense one-dimensional, make them kind of have to rely on Davis Mills, I think you have a good chance of winning.
Ben, on the way out, speaking of running backs and young guys in the AFC South, how surprised were you that Travis Etienne already took over as the number one guy in Jacksonville, forcing the James Robinson trade to New York?
Yeah, I wasn't super surprised just because James Robinson's usage, his touches had kind of been on a downward trend for the last few weeks, kind of culminating with last week against the Giants where he didn't get any carries, and he only had one target in the passing game. So from that perspective, it definitely kind of surprised me. I mean, it didn't surprise me, but going into this season and kind of early on, it seemed like the Jags had a setup to where they could have that two-back look, right, with Travis Etienne being kind of a more of a outside, like a wide runner, or kind of being a pass catcher out of the backfield, and James Robinson being more of the traditional bruiser, kind of between the tackles type guy. But it kind of goes back to what Travis Etienne has been doing. I mean, you look at his last few games, and he's really been playing well. I mean, his numbers have gone up every week. He's just a guy that the Jags have a lot of faith in, and it was going to be his show in the backfield sooner, if not later, because James Robinson was going to be a restricted free agent. Travis Etienne, obviously, the first-round pick last year under the Urban Meyer regime. So he was a guy who was ascending. So you knew this was going to happen at some point, but just with James Robinson's usage going down the last couple weeks, it kind of became clear that maybe his days were numbered.
Ben Arthur has been our guest covering the AFC South for Fox Sports. Again, congrats on the new gig, man. Appreciate the time as always.
Absolutely.
Thank you, guys. You have a good one.
Thanks, Ben.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Ben.
There is Ben Arthur with us on the Mark Spain Real Estate Hotline. Not ruling out a move at the wide receiver position for the Tennessee Titans with the deadline coming up November 1st. Obviously doesn't mean it has to just be a trade. It could be another addition like the Titans just made with Chris Conley. But Ben echoed the exact comment we made earlier this morning that Chris Conley fits exactly into what Mike Vrabel wants from guys who are just hopping into the locker room as with the season already started.
Mm-hmm. And I asked Mike Vrabel about that yesterday, you guys. I was just curious. As a guy who most of the free agents he's brought in, or just most of the signings that he's brought in specifically mid-season, they've all kind of worked out, even going back to last year with the two backs that came in when Henry went down. And he kind of downplayed it and said, I don't have much time to really give my say. I find that a little hard to believe. Because they all seem like Mike Vrabel guys. And John Robinson does a great job of, I feel like, putting in his input and bringing in that kind of culture too.
Yeah.
But it just seems to always work, right? Where you get the right fit for the most part when you bring these dudes in.
Has anybody ever asked him, maybe it's an off-season question, does he realize he has a type when it comes down to player?
I kind of mentioned that these guys that come in and immediately fit the culture.
Yeah.
That's what I said. But it's worked out for the most part.
It's also funny because half of them were players of his in Houston.
Yeah,
so he absolutely has
that too. But yeah, that's a fair point.
Right. 615-737-1045 is the number. We continue the conversation when we come back and take a look at the Houston Texans injury report. A couple of members of that offensive line who are up in the air for this weekend against the Titans. We'll tell you who that is coming up next on Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. On Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors, 104.5 The Zone. Halloween is this weekend. This song makes me feel a little bit spooky. Shout out Linkin Park.
Yeah.
I like this song.
Kind of creepy vibe.
The Jay-Z collaboration with this song was a good one. Encore.
It was.
Really good.
Can I get an encore? Do you want more?
Yeah.
There's a song or somebody slowed down Rocky Top.
Is that what they did?
Yeah, they slowed it down, and it is.
We need to play that to start the 9 a.m. hour.
Really good.
You want to do it, Shafe? Can I send it to you? Maybe. Okay. All right. I'll send it
Call
to
me
you,
maybe?
Shafe. It's.
Call me maybe.
I just met you.
I'll call you today.
This is crazy. Texans released their injury. I'm the worst. I'm so sorry. Texans released their injury report.
You are a block of Velveeta. You're all cheese.
I love Melton Belvita, though.
I was going to say.
Like on the mac and
Velveeta's
cheese.
got some taste to it.
Velveeta mac and cheese.
Y'all ever had Rotel dip?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the
All right. I
best.
was just checking. I've been around people who have not
So
had
good.
Rotel before. It's
I
like,
mean,
what is this? I'm like, just only
So
the
add
best
that to your
creation ever
list for the barbecue.
of items. 100%. Absolutely.
That somebody
It'd be a
was
good time.
barbecuing.
You will leave the crib, okay? Fed, spirited up, and having a good time.
Spirited up. I like
when
that.
unlike when we leave here.
I told you it would be a show long theme.
You did.
And I wasn't lying.
Wow! Thanks, Mike.
Patty Will is the best Will, too.
I know.
That's what somebody
Where my
said
sunglasses at?
earlier on in the on 104.5 The Zone TV watching on YouTube. Who said like Slay turned Will into a baby savage?
Mm-hmm.
I think you woke up to this fact after 2 weeks of working with me
did.
every day.
Yeah.
And
That
the same
now-
with Kayla, too.
Now I just get to vocalize things that I've been saying in our green room. Now I just get to say them into a microphone. Jonathan Schaefer knows since working with me from 2019.
Oh, we did end up getting Chick-fil-A, too, by the
did.
way. And in the package,
Courtesy
Kayla.
of Ramon.
somebody-
Tell them what they put in the package, by the way.
Yeah,
Did
this
you
is
see this?
for 2 straight times
Someone
Yeah.
Go
in
Vols.
the bag wrote a Go Vols on a slip of
That's
paper.
incredible.
That's cold-blooded.
You know
Whoever
why?
you are.
Go
Because
Vols.
Ramon Foster is the one who knocks.
Go
'Cause-
Vols.
So you could just walk into Chick-fil-A,
Yeah.
say, I want a deal for our morning show.
I might.
Ramon, Kayla, and Will.
I might.
Bada boom, bada bing. That's the
boom.
second straight day I've said it.
We might have to get a bada boom, bada bing every day.
I
now.
love that saying.
I love it.
It's so good. It's so good.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Texans released their injury report yesterday. Malik Collins, Nico Collins, no relation. Brandon Cooks, Jerry Hughes did not practice. For Cooks and for Hughes, maintenance days that were not injury related.
Yeah.
Kenyon Green, the rookie out of Texas A&M at left guard, was limited with a shoulder. And Justin McCray with a hand was limited as well. Kenyon Green already a guy that's starting to figure out maybe a little bit more at left guard.
Yeah.
I would say for Houston, you liked him out of the draft,
I
right?
did like him out of the draft. And young offensive linemen take about a year or so to get right. If he's injured, I mean, that's tough for them because he's been the guy that's been starting the whole entire time.
So let me ask you this. Texas A&M, we mentioned a lot about their scheme on offense and how it just hasn't changed ever since Jameis was the quarterback of Florida State. That is kind of like the term multiple offense used to get used a lot in college football of teams that didn't totally commit to the spread, but also weren't pro style. I feel like they're still kind of a multiple offense. How did A&M prepare Kenyon Green to be a plug-and-play guard in the NFL?
Just the reps. They go after big body dudes. They go after guys that are run road graders, okay, and got good balance to him. He's been that guy ever since he came out of high school. Like, that's the luxury you get. And then the competition side of it, pushes you even more. When you get on campus, what are they, College Station?
Yes.
Yeah, when you get on College Station. What were you going to say?
Well, I'm just saying, so we had this debate the other day about how offensive linemen are not being developed properly.
Well, yeah.
So
Certain places do.
yes, that's what I'm saying. So this is maybe a plus for A&M, which we haven't been saying a lot as of late. But could it have started in high school too with just the fundamentals and everything?
He's from Texas.
Yeah,
That's what they
exactly.
do there. So it's certain schools that when you reel off, they usually have good offensive linemen. When I say these names, you're going to be like, yep. A&M, yes. It's historically LSU, but not this year though. Wisconsin, Iowa, Penn State, and you'll sprinkle in a Bama player or two here or there, but like for the most part, those are the schools that are really pushing out offensive linemen consistently when it comes down to like development and playing a pro style type of offense too.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, what is the draft though? Picking the best of the best,
right?
Like you can pick one or two guys from a spot or two that are like just that good enough, you know.
That's why offensive linemen are so dang valuable.
Yeah.
Early on too, is to get the good ones.
Absolutely,
100%.
When we come back, it is already the fourth quarter of the show.
No,
ladies and gentlemen,
Dang.
Four's up around Nashville, Tennessee, as we begin 60 more minutes on the Thursday edition of Ramon, Kayla, and Will. Talking with former Titan and former Kentucky Wildcat Wesley Woodyard at 9:20. Resetting the headlines and taking a look at Ryan Tannehill's status for Sunday on the other side. 1 hour left on Thursday's edition of Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors on 104.5 The Zone.
How does it feel?
9:01, good morning. I'm Jonathan Schaefer from the Superbook.com sports desk. The Titans returned to the practice field yesterday, though some of their stars did not play in practice, did not participate. Ryan Tannehill, Jeffrey Simmons, Rashad Weaver, and Torrey Carter were among them. Tannehill is suffering from an ankle sprain, and his status is uncertain for Sunday. Aaron Brewer, Dylan Cole, Morgan Cox, Nate Davis, Bud Dupree, Ben Jones, and David Long were limited participants. Chicago Bears traded pass rusher Robert Quinn to the Philadelphia Eagles in exchange for a fourth-round pick. Thursday Night Football tonight, Baltimore, Tampa Bay. You can hear the game on the Zone. Kickoff at 7:15. Hockey night in Smashville. Blues at the Predators, Bridgestone Arena, 7 o'clock tonight. The puck drop. Preds winless in their last 5 games. And to the NBA, Memphis at Sacramento, 9 o'clock tip from the West Coast. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once. On or over the Titans and the Vols, this is 104.5 The Zone.
And the show goes on into hour number 4 on Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors, 104.5 The Zone. Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson, and Will Bowling with you on the phone lines at 615-737-1045. If you want to talk to the man who is known affectionately as the best producer in the world, not just on 104.5 The Zone, but in this globe that we live on every single day for 24 hours a day and 7 days a week. We talk with Wesley Woodyard, former Kentucky Wildcat, former Tennessee Titan. We get his takeaways from Alumni Weekend, what it would have been like to play in that game, a classic Titans game against the Indianapolis Colts, but also Kentucky Week, Ramon Foster. We have not talked a lot of Vols today, but the excitement level continues to build for Tennessee and Kentucky with the dark mode uniforms on Saturday.
Yeah, man. I heard our teammates yesterday. I think they had Ty Furman on. It's like, man,
This
Tennessee.
would be 3HL.
3HL, yeah, 3HL. It's like, man, we have Tennessee has rivals with everybody. And I thought for a second, I was like, kind of seemed like it is true. I mean, Tennessee, Florida, Tennessee, Georgia is not really a rivalry, or is it just what do you want to call it? Tennessee, Alabama?
I would say Alabama is number 1. Florida would be second.
Okay. Bama,
and then after that, probably Kentucky.
Right? And I'm just thinking to myself, like, is every SEC team like that? To me, I nod the head and say, yeah, I think this Tennessee-Kentucky matchup is a rivalry.
I think Tennessee and Auburn have the most rivals in the SEC.
Okay.
Because Tennessee and Auburn are classic SEC teams who used to play each other.
Yeah.
Like if you talk to my dad, you talk to people that went to UT at a certain time period, they consider Alabama and Auburn equal level of rivals.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Like a lot of my friends, like parents that went to UT, 70s, 80s, you're talking about people that hate Auburn that are Tennessee fans as much as they hate Alabama and probably even more than they hate Georgia.
Yeah.
So that's a classic rivalry. But, I mean, you're right that Tennessee and Alabama, Tennessee, Florida, Tennessee, Kentucky, Tennessee, Vandy.
Yeah.
That was a little different. Georgia. And then Auburn kind of next. And then you have these kind of rivalries that have popped up in other sports, like Tennessee and Arkansas baseball fans kind of hate each other now.
Yeah. Tennessee, Ole Miss.
Yeah, and Ole Miss. I mean, that one's a little bit.
That one's because of a certain individual.
Of course.
But there is this sense that it's a rivalry. And I say this, I know Kentucky wants to embarrass us.
Oh, yeah.
I do.
Of course they do.
Like, legitimately. Like,
Who doesn't right now?
Yeah, for sure. You're the Hunted. And it should be that way though too, and you should hold that very near and dear to your soul and to your overall wins and losses.
Mm-hmm.
They feel very confident in their team. I saw somebody having a conversation that Kentucky could easily be 6-1 also. Like they're that far away. Will Levis got outside of himself in that Ole Miss game. That was the game in which Schaefer got the drop of me saying I would vote. I would root.
Is that where it comes
That's where it came
from?
from.
You're gonna do it again.
I said with them. I said with them.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I was waiting on something just crazy right there. But just in general, though, Will, this should be a good game. It's a night game. You know how players and fans and everybody feel about those type of situations, man. I'm excited to see what this is going to look like. I'm not nervous about it, and I don't think this is a team that is looking over Kentucky.
I'm rolling Kentucky this week.
God.
I love hearing that.
I'm rolling Kentucky this week.
But God,
so much authority in that.
I'm rolling Kentucky this week.
Because I was rooting for them. Like, do it.
I'm rolling Kentucky this week.
I'm done talking now. I'm done talking.
It's Kayla and Will on
I'm enjoying this.
Kayla and Will right now. But Kentucky's no pushover. But what I'll say is I'm not nervous about it because I feel like this team is rightly focused as far as the way coaches kind of put this group together.
It's also in y'all's backyards.
Yeah.
Yard.
Yeah.
It's in Tennessee. It's at Neyland Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
That's big too.
It is.
I don't have the same level of confidence going into this Kentucky
You haven't
game.
had the confidence at all, though, this year.
I'm glad you said it.
Simply because it is the first game as a top 5 team against an FBS team. I wouldn't have confidence regardless of who it is. Because I've said before on this show, you could put the 85 Bears and the 72 Dolphins in Kentucky uniforms going into Neyland Stadium, and I would pick Tennessee to win. I've never in my life been in Neyland Stadium and seen Tennessee lose to Kentucky. Never once in my life. It's happened once.
This weekend?
It happened once. Yeah.
Stop dropping that N word then.
I know.
Stop saying never.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what scares me.
Yeah, that's what
never.
you saying crap like that, Will.
I'm rolling Kentucky this week.
That in my lifetime, Kentucky has beaten Tennessee and Knoxville once. In the time that I have been on this earth, they have beaten Tennessee and Knoxville one time.
Yeah, but you were born yesterday.
Okay, well, they haven't beat Tennessee since yesterday, so there you go.
I'm going to be real. You give me anxiety with this talk sometimes.
Okay.
So if they lose now, it's Will's fault.
You think I'm going to push away from the table on that one? Absolutely not. Me and Kayla will come in here with a table, a bucket, and a towel.
I've already got the ice has been on chill for a while.
You're going to have to pay this off at some point.
I will not. I'm not trying to get in the salt.
No, he's not. He's not waterboarding
We'll do
me.
it for charity.
Are you kidding me?
Waterboard for charity.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
Wait a minute. The alliteration, waterboard.
That's
Will,
what I'm
it's perfect.
saying. Anything that has alliteration, sign me up.
We have a hook.
Let's go.
Look
at his face. That precious face.
No.
If anyone needs me, I will not be hosting the show.
Oh, bless his heart.
Finish your point, Kayla.
So
That was
cute.
hilarious, though.
Bless it.
Oh, my gosh. But, Will, you give me anxiety, though, man. Kayla was right. She called it out before I did. Like, the last 3 or 4 weeks, it's been that way. And I love to field calls, but we got West coming up. I love to know for programs that's been very solid. Well, you've been around them. You've been around Bama. You've been around Ohio State fans, too. At what point do you get to a confidence of, we're going to kick their butt no matter what?
I mean, when I was up at Ohio State, it was already at that point.
Okay.
But that I also came into the season where they had lost Braxton, and so there was a little bit of question.
Mm-hmm.
But then it came back really quick.
Okay.
And then they went on and won the Natty. Now, when I was at Alabama, that was different. It was more so Auburn that had it because they had beat Bama 6 straight times in the Tommy Tuberville era. Whereas Saban had just come in that second year I was there. They were just starting to build that back up.
And the fan base was where?
Oh, I don't even know where they were. They weren't in the
chirpy?
stands.
Oh.
The Bama stands?
Yeah.
Or the Bama fans? I mean,
They still
it was
weren't.
awful. Because
Okay.
Saban's first year, he was still starting
Yeah.
to bring in guys and change the culture. But that didn't take long either.
Yeah, of course. That's because Will's been a long-time fan, and me too. But Will probably before. No, I don't know actually what year he was born. But, like, Will has seen a lot of stuff.
97.
Okay. So
Are you
you've seen a
joking?
lot
He's seen a lot of stuff?
As far as Tennessee sports go,
Okay,
like Will's
Tennessee.
in general. But
Yeah.
he's
I've
very
seen him play in a lot of games
Yeah,
in
yes.
different. I literally.
Yes.
When you were still playing, I was there for a lot of those road games too.
So of age,
followed you around.
of age to remember is about like 6, 7, 8 years old. That puts us at like 04?
The first game I remember was 0-2,
Okay.
5 or 6 overtimes over Arkansas.
Okay, so
It's
you
the
saw a
first
lot
game
of
I
good.
remember going to.
You saw a lot of good.
Yeah.
So
I did.
Did your parents have a lot of confidence in Tennessee winning then?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Then absolutely.
So
I
we're
was
still-
there in 07 when you guys clinched the East in 5 overtimes against Kentucky and Lexington.
So Shafe, your word that you said was this is healing?
Healing.
Okay, all right. So we're still in the healing phase of fandom. Because Will can't confidently say.
See, the fan
we
base
should
right
win.
now is half triggered going into this game because they're waiting for another shoe to drop.
Yes.
I'm going to be totally honest with you.
I'm
that
listening.
My perspective on anxiety for this game is me trying my best to take the orange tinted glasses off and look at it from a different perspective and say, I need to see Tennessee win as a top 3 team because they have not done that since 2006.
Respect.
When you guys were number 3 preseason behind USC and Texas. That year.
Respect.
But every week it's been something.
I know.
Right? Every week it's been something. Well, now I got to see Tennessee win because they got to beat Alabama. I got to see Tennessee because it feels like every week there's something, and I get that. But that's why I feel comfortable where I don't wear any orange tinted glasses. I feel comfortable saying I really do feel comfortable going into this game against Kentucky because for the sheer fact that they have checked off like a million boxes this year, and it's the same old steady Eddie, Josh Heupel prepared team.
And what they're saying in the media and how they go about it too. Like Jalen High have the game of all Tennessee, like
He's
of
smoking a
all
cigar with
universities.
Peyton Manning in the locker room.
And then guess what? He's back in the weight room.
Wow.
Goes for another 100 yards, 2 touchdowns, like nothing happened.
But if you're a fan, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Where I'm at with it too is that I said going into the Alabama game, I think Alabama wins by a late field goal. And they missed the late field goal, and Tennessee took advantage.
Right.
So I've seen it happen. Look, I think Tennessee wins. I think Tennessee covers in this game. So the anxiety that I have is not from a place of I'm worried about Tennessee in this game. It's just it's going to be very different walking into that stadium, and the expectation level going into this game is a night and day difference from the expectation level walking into that stadium against Florida. Because against Florida, it was about that game, and that game felt like the season. Now, this game is also kind of the season, but for a different reason, right? Because now you're playing a game as a playoff contender against an FBS team for the first time in the playoff era. We've seen Josh Heupel teams pass every test so far in the way that they have not let the moment be too big this season. And we've talked about that at length, about how Josh Heupel, as a national championship contender and a Heisman contender, can talk the talk on that with his team because he's walked the walk.
Right.
He knows how to help his team take on his personality because he's literally done that. And this team, Andy Staples said it with us, and David Ubbins said it, this team resembles that 2000 Oklahoma team in a lot of ways in the way that this season has progressed. So I think Tennessee is fine in this game simply because it comes down to Tennessee is going to probably score 40 points. Or in Tennessee's worst offensive performance this year, they scored 38.
That's crazy.
On the road. So the question you ask is, can Kentucky score 38 points in Neyland Stadium with how slow that they go? I don't think they can. And that's the ball game.
Okay.
So if Kentucky wins, it's because Hendon Hooker has an uncharacteristically poor performance or Tennessee can't run the football against Kentucky's front. Both, which could happen.
Yeah.
But I'm not betting on either one of them to happen because it hasn't happened against better teams. So why would it happen now?
For sure.
That's the evaluation process for me, is that in order for Tennessee to now disappoint, they've got to do something they haven't done yet. They've got to have a new weakness pop up. And at this point, I don't believe that that's going to happen under the lights with all the excitement around this game and what's at stake for this Tennessee team.
Got a lot of momentum, man.
They do. They absolutely
They've
do.
been rolling with that.
That'll carry you through
I love
tough
momentum.
games. Yeah.
I use that all the time, but I truly believe in it.
I do too.
Just like the Phillies. I'm sorry if you hate the Phillies, but that team has all the momentum right now.
I rewatched the game the other day.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm that dude now. Well, a portion of it.
When we come back, we bring Wesley Woodyard into the conversation. The musical stylings of one Wesley Woodyard as well, as always. That voice right there, who was here for the Titans alumni weekend on Sunday against the Indianapolis Colts. We get his thoughts on the toughness Ryan Tannehill, Ben Jones, and Derrick Henry displayed late on in this Titans win over Indy. But also we get his thoughts on a man who was a 2016 graduate from Kentucky. Didn't have a lot of success against Tennessee in his career, but was not 2016 graduate. I misspoke. He was 2016 in the league.
Wait, I was like,
it's on his Twitter.
Yo, Young West.
It's not 2016, Young West, but
Young West.
Wesley Woodyard, a guy who I misread what he
Ramon's
said.
like, I'm so old.
He was Kentucky Hall of Fame class of
There we go.
2016 is what he was. I know that he didn't
He in the
graduate
Hall of
from.
Fame in Kentucky?
Yeah.
Well, duh.
Look at my dog.
Yeah, I misspoke. I forgot to say Hall of Fame in there. I know he didn't play at Kentucky. There's only one
Phenom.
Wesley Woodyard next. 104.5 The Song.
Ramon wants me to ask you about
Yeah.
freaking Kentucky. So he's been saying Kentucky all week. I know you got another view on this, bud.
Man, Cats by 30. We want Bama.
So that's what one Tennessee Titan said that played football at the University of Kentucky, and Bud Dupree. We bring in another one. On Ramon, Kayla, and Will, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors on 104.5 The Zone. Ramon Foster, Kayla Anderson, and Will Bowling with you, joined on the Mark Spain Real Estate Hotline by a friend of the show, former Titan and former Kentucky Wildcat, Wesley Woodyard. Wes, do you also want Bama? Or will you say, Cats by 30 like Bud Dupree did today to Kayla as well?
I'm going to just start off by saying I'm not having a good day today. I'm not having a good day. Ramon, I'm having a bad day.
Why?
I take my kids to school today. They're in pajama day, so they bugging me already about wearing different pajamas. I get to the school to drop my little girl off, man, and this teacher comes out with this hideous, ugly color of orange I've ever seen. A Tennessee Volunteer pajama set, and I'm like, oh my goodness, go Cat. So my day is not starting off the right way. So that's how I'm feeling. But Cats by 20.
Who knew Ramon Foster was paying off teachers around Middle Tennessee?
No,
oh my God.
This is in Florida.
Yeah.
Around Florida. That too.
Yes, I don't get it. I don't understand how is it this far down south? Oh, I can't live with myself.
That's what I'm saying. Ramon's nationwide is what I'm learning now.
Hey, there's such thing as cash apping teachers' bread. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're underfunded already. That was $20 right there, Wes.
Hey, Ramon. And you know what? It's a Christian school too, so I know that she means well. So I left. I said some prayers for her. Everybody can't be a Kentucky fan, so I forgive you guys. It's all right.
You know what? That's kind of wild though, because you don't understand that, because Kentucky fans, they don't really move too much further. Like, y'all are just in one place, and that's in Lexington. I get why that's confusing to you.
Oh my goodness! Stop it. We took over Nashville. We all down in Atlanta now. We're in Florida. I see a lot of Kentucky fans here, but let's talk. What's up, baby? Big Ragu, what's up? How you doing, Kayla?
What's up, Wes?
How's it going, Will?
Hey, Will asked the question yesterday, I think. He was like, man, how did you and Wes get cool? You know what I'm saying? I was like, well, football, first and foremost. But you remember how we actually ended up having conversation? It was on the field. And I told you, I was like, dude, that's by far the hardest I've ever got hit in my life. And from that point, we was homies.
Hey, and you know what, man? I'm just glad we're at the cordial stage in our life now. Like, we can actually be friends during the Tennessee-Kentucky week, because we had some heated rivalry going on there. But yeah, man, football brought us closer. That was a great bond about football, man. It brought us closer. It brought me my dog, man.
It did.
And Wes, I can tell you that as someone that grew up in this city as a Tennessee Titans fan, I was like on intramural fields and in high school, like just pickup games of anything, doing the lumberjack celebration, because you were doing it when you hit Ramon Foster. So I can give you credit for that.
Hey, man. My name's on this show. I can't get dissed like that.
You and me both.
What the hell?
Hey,
Go ahead, Kayla. I got nothing now, man.
Well, let's start with Titans, since Will put that out there. And Wes, just how much have you seen from this group this year? And no surprise that they're getting it done with the defense doing a lot of the part.
I'm happy for those guys, man. I'm very proud of the Titans, what they're doing. They're winning the games they're supposed to win, no matter what. Like, that's the lineage that they've created over there. It doesn't matter how pretty the game is, how ugly it is. We got to win the games that we're supposed to win. And they got the coach coming in there, and they took care of their job. So they got the job done.
How cool was it being back last week? I saw you on the field doing your stuff, man, and being around a bunch of the guys. I feel like that was Darrell's second time coming back, and you saw a lot of your good friends, man. What was that like?
Man, that was amazing, especially seeing some of the Oilers. You know, it's all about that camaraderie shit. But man, being around my dogs, I haven't seen some of my teammates in years. So it's always good to come back and more importantly, feel that love, that respect that the fans give you, and you understand, like, man, I put in some hard work here. This is my home. Let me come back and enjoy time with my teammates, because when you're playing, you really are in the moment. You really don't sit back and think about all of the autographs you sign, all of the pictures you take, all of the plays you make. But when you come back for Alumni Week, all of that stuff just hits you, and you're like, man, I played this game, man, and look at the lives that I helped change. Look at the fans that I helped play in front of. They enjoyed me. Hey, it's time to turn up. So it was a great weekend to be back.
Yeah.
We got that. And we got that dub.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna lie. When the Alumni Week comes back, we've tricked off some weekends, and we be like, damn.
I love it. Former Titan Wesley Woodyard with us this morning on Ramon, Kayla, and Will. 2 picks in 2 games for David Long at the middle linebacker position. Wesley, what have you made of his maturation and taking that next step as a full-time starter this year?
Man, D Long is doing his thing, man. Even when he came in, we saw he had a lot of potential. We saw, and that potential was just making plays. Like, he always made big splash plays, and now I think he's understanding what it takes to be a linebacker, like using his hands. Like, me and him have casual talks, because I'm around the building a lot more now. So me and him have a lot of casual talks. I'm just hearing how he sees the game, and he's maturing, man. So I think David's going to end up being a household name because he makes big plays. And that's part of the game. You make big plays, you're going to get a nickname. You're going to be a household name. Big play Ray inspire everybody. So that's the movement. So David's doing great, man. He's making plays. Keep balling, bro. Keep balling.
Wes, when you were in the locker room, you had Rack in there, obviously. Some of the defensive leaders still have Kevin Byard, but it's great to probably see that leadership just pick up with a guy like Jeffrey Simmons. I mean, he's just been such a big part of this team, not only on the field, but what he holds down in that locker room.
You said it first. KB, it revolves around KB and Jeffrey are the centerpieces in there, but it revolves around KB. KB does so much. So when Jeffrey stepped up and became a leader, that gave KB a little bit like, okay, now I can fall back. Now everything doesn't have to be all in making a play on this play. Let me go over here and be me. Let me go over here. Okay, I'm going to set this play up for my DB, and then I'm going to come back and get an interception. So Jeffrey, man, him stepping up, it gave another voice in that locker room. And as a defense, you really can't depend on just one person making the plays, making the calls, and stepping up. And so to see Jeff lead from the front 7 as a D lineman, that lets you know what kind of character he has in that locker room. And those guys, they listen to Big Jeff. And you got to make plays, and that's what Jeff does. Mm-hmm.
Wes, one thing that happens, man, in team sports, man, is if there's injuries on one side of the ball, everybody else makes it up, man. We've seen, the offense kind of take some hit at the wide receiver position due to injuries and stuff like that, man. What's the conversation on the defensive side of the ball to be like, look, we got to go help our guys out because they're a little snake bitten right now, because that's what this defense has been doing.
Fellas, hey, we'll know what we're going to get. We don't know what we're going to get this week. We got to make something happen. Hey, we got to go score. That's what you're saying on defense. And it's not a knock on the offense, but that's just the mentality that if you're going to be a defense that's going to win games, that's your mentality, especially when you know your offense isn't firing like they should be. They're not putting up those high numbers of points or making big plays. As a defense, you take that really personally. You're like, hey, fellas, we got to go score on defense. Mm-hmm. Like, forget that. Like, we're good enough to win the game. Like, we not going to leave it up to our offense. So that's the mindset that you got to have.
Former Titan Wesley Woodyard with us this morning on 104.5 The Zone. Wes, with the emphasis that Amy Adams-Strunk has put on Alumni Weekend, how much more full was that sideline on Sunday versus, when this thing kind of started a few years back?
Mm-hmm.
It was packed, man. Miss Amy does a great job of understanding the tradition and the culture, and the Oilers, man, they laid the foundation. She gave those guys like reassurance that they have a home, they have a place to be, because you guys led the way for us to become Titans, and the ex-Titans that come back. It's a big family, man, and Miss Amy gets that. And I used to tell everybody the difference between when I first got to Tennessee versus when I was in Denver, and I'm like, they always said they pride themselves, as in the Broncos, on being a world-class organization when Pat Bowlen was the owner. When I got here, you can kind of tell a little bit of the ownership wasn't a little bit present. And then when Miss Amy took over, it skyrocketed. And that's what it takes, man. It starts from the top. It takes an owner that's buying in, and that understands and that's learning football, that's trying to be involved in all the movement. So she gets it.
Now, Wes, let's go to this college ball real quick, okay? We've got all the formalities out of the way. You hear me?
I'm waiting on this.
You know what this week is. Do you understand me? I've sent you something and you've sent me something too, okay? We're there now.
All right.
Okay? How you feeling, Wes? Well, we at with Will Levis in the mayo and his coffee in here. How he's playing? Come on, Wes.
Hey, you know what? I'm going to say this. Kentucky hasn't scored a lot of points lately. Will's been hurt. Will's been in a game managing mode, which is great, which is okay. But I'm telling you, you guys are set for a primetime Will Levis game. I'm talking about raw bananas eating the morning after. Just that kind of game that y'all are getting ready to be set up for. So I think going into Tennessee is scary in itself. One of the greatest places to play college football. But I see Tennessee struggling in this game.
Okay. On the other side of that, from what we've seen so far, defenses in general have had an issue with Tennessee's offense. What is Kentucky? What would they be able to do or not do against this Hendon Hooker led offense this weekend?
Man, here's what the defense has to do. They're giving up about 16 points a game. That's 3 field goals and a touchdown. I will say this. Being the number one offense, you can convert those 3 field goals that Kentucky's been giving up. So you're looking at about 28 points off rip. So, I mean, but here's my thing about this game and why I say it's a primetime game for Will Levis, because the quarterback position, if Tennessee gets into a shootout with Kentucky, Will Levis haven't had a game this year to where he can be relied on using his arm. He's sitting back waiting on it. So it could get scary. But that defense, I'm looking up, man, they could give up some points this game and still play great defensively. So that's just how it's going to happen, man. But I tell you what, they got to get some pressure in the middle of their pocket. That play action pass in the middle, letting Hooker sit in the middle, he's going to pick them apart. So we can't do that for one. We can't do that.
So, like Will Levis said this week during, his press conference, he said the biggest thing for us is to play our ball and to manage the clock. And so I'm guessing you would agree with Will Levis on that game plan.
I honestly don't like that.
You don't like it? Okay.
No, I feel like if we manage the game, then it plays into the favor of Tennessee. Like, that to me, Tennessee's strength is in the middle. Like, I think if Kentucky makes the DBs tackle, then we got a great chance of winning. But if we try to sit here and run the ball up the middle, we're not gonna win that ball game. Tennessee's strong up the middle, if you ask me. I feel like their front four is really talented and can make some plays. But you got to spread the ball out. You got to pass the ball. You got to make the Tennessee DBs make plays, and that's to me where the secret of the game is going to be won.
So the fact that they're going back and forth and saying it's going to be a slow game, you'd almost lend yourself to believe they want to air this thing out.
I think that the handicap of this game is slowing it out, taking it out of Will Levis's hand. It's time for Will to fly. It's no need to slow the game down. We were in game managing mode in the beginning of the season. Who cares? We're trying to win games. We know if our starting quarterback isn't where he is, healthy, 100%, the best way to win the game is run the football.
Chris Rodriguez.
And that takes, yes, Rodriguez. And that slows the game down for the other team. The offense is not getting on the game. So what they're telling me, if they're saying that in the media, then they are trying to keep Hooker off the field. They're trying to limit his reps at the ball. So that's what that tells me. But I'm telling you, I think the strength of this game is to air it out on both sides.
Okay.
Wesley,
I like it.
On the way out, is there a secret to slowing down Tennessee's tempo and trying to play against this? And on the flip side of that, how happy are you that you don't have to go up against this kind of college offense? I know the 2007 Tennessee-Kentucky game, I won't give Ramon Foster the time to trash talk about that at the end here, but how difficult would it be to go up against this version of this Tennessee offense?
I tell you what, I'm going to just say this humbly. I think this college, the era of kids should be glad that players like myself and Ramon aren't playing. So, because we would eat them alive.
I promise you.
I say that humbly.
Yeah.
But,
respectfully.
Right?
Yes, respectfully. But what were you saying about Hooker? I apologize.
No, you're good. Just what is the secret to slowing down just from the linebacker perspective and the guy calling the plays on that defense so quickly? How in the world do you begin to stop this kind of tempo Tennessee runs?
To me, it starts to getting pressure up the middle. He takes his time on the play action reads, which allows the DBs to be exposed over the top. So if I'm sitting back, I'm thinking like, all right, fine. I'm gonna put 4 across the board off top to make him read across all 4 of my DBs, have them looking at him, have them eyes vision quarterback playing defense. Like that's what we're watching him. Put it 4 across the board, create some kind of inside pressure, get him off the pocket. But you got to contain him once you get him out. So it's gonna be an interesting defensive game plan, but I say come at him through the middle. Take that play action pass away because that just gives him free range to read your defense.
One more question from me. We know you as the Jag Killer. Do you still have all the Jag gear that you'd wear, like with the what is it? That was just like my favorite look when Wes would throw on the Jag Killer gear.
You know, I still have a shower cap, Jag slippers.
Yes.
I still have my Jaguar gear. I blow the dust off of it every now and then, but I do work at Jacksonville, so those guys love me down there too.
Yeah.
I love it, man. I love it. Wesley Woodyard, former Titan, former Kentucky Wildcat, has been our guest here on the show. Wes, we always appreciate it. We play the sound clip of you singing all the time on the show, by the way. Just so you know. That one right there, honestly, is probably played like once or twice a week. So you're a big part of the show. We appreciate you.
Hey, Will, and I'm going to say one thing. I appreciate it. If it happens, when it happens, remember you said never in your lifetime.
That's right.
Told us,
Thank you.
That's right.
Just
Thank you,
remember
Wes.
that.
Appreciate it, man.
By the way,
I'm rolling Kentucky.
of course
There you go.
Friendly bet then?
Friendly bet. I hit you on the line. We'll make that.
All right, there it is.
See, Wes, this is why I've got to play it even by not giving Ramon the room to trash talk. I've got to shut him down because I've already put the yardage tinted glasses on too much today, so I've got to walk it back.
All right, man. Y'all have a good
Hey, Wes, real quick, Jonathan Schaefer tells me there is something that Ramon said that Schaefer would love for you to hear on the way out here.
Come on.
I'm rolling Kentucky this week.
There we go.
Picture me rolling.
See, this is what happens when I pick y'all to beat Ole Miss. I'm never picking Kentucky again, Wes.
I'm rolling Kentucky
Well,
this
guess
week.
what? You're not picking us to beat y'all this time too. So you're gonna be wrong on that.
Well, that's because I took the T out of y'all name and put an S in it now. You're Kentucky now.
Oh. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thank you, Wes. Appreciate it, man.
Goodbye, he says.
There's Wesley Woodyard with us.
He got mad.
That's great.
Get you a guy that can do both. It's going to, hype us up. And, hey, good morning. Good to see you. And then on the way out, hey, you just remember what you said.
I know.
I just love how his
Never
day
would.
started.
Yeah, me too.
Imagine that.
We didn't-
Dropping your kids off and you
I
see
love
the orange.
That was for free.
Yeah.
On the way out, we'll hit the headlines we missed. Thursday Night Football coming up tonight and get you on your way. One final segment. Ramon, Kayla, Will, 104.5 The Zone. This song is cool, but it's kind of nightmare fuel to begin the final segment.
Love it. Let it roll.
It's up.
This Saturday,
Doom.
Doom.
a wildcat and a hound dog.
We're still on the air. Oh.
Yeah. That's it.
It's getting a little scary.
Let it go
You
through.
just like, here comes Michael Myers. Ugh. Ew, that's creepy. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad in a good way.
So if you're wondering what Ramon Foster's been playing in every break,
every
this morning,
break.
that's what it is.
Every break. Will and I are like having a conversation. All of a sudden, what is going on over there? Here's Ramon with his phone up to his face.
Like we heard the music coming back and we weren't sure if it was just like the show coming back or if Ramon was just playing on his phone again.
I'm not even
It
a
is
horror
really good.
movie.
It's kinda creepy.
I am. So I loved it.
You loved it.
I love that kind of. I just watched what is it? Friday the 13th last night.
Did you?
I sure did.
This makes me want to watch scary movies. Like, God.
Yeah.
Hey.
That could be a soundtrack.
I'm not a horror movie guy. I know
I'm not
Ron and my nephew Lil Ron are, but like, no, Ron's not. Big Savage ain't. Lil Ron is. He wants nothing
Dude,
but
you guys
that.
are big babies. That's why.
Well, yeah. You want me to deny that? Huh? No, absolutely.
Calling
yeah.
it out.
I like hugs at night.
Oh my goodness.
No.
It's not that I don't like horror movies. I just don't seek them out.
Hugs, not drugs.
There we go. See?
I mean, I'll watch a horror movie. I'm just not gonna like be like, oh, let's sit down and watch a horror movie. But if like someone else suggests it, I'll be like, oh, okay.
And what's crazy, if you got some round sound with a horror movie on too,
it's a wrap.
Yeah.
Oh, my little niece shook one of my boys. They don't want no parts.
See, boys never like the scary. This is what I love. Boys never like the scary movies. Girls, we eat it up. We love it.
That's why we can't understand y'all to this day. Right there. Just see, Kayla's looking at me right now. I ain't got a clue what she thinking.
On the way out today, we have one more chance to head to Bridgestone Arena. Tonight, the Nashville Predators take on the St. Louis Blues. And I would get those dialing fingers ready right now because it's 615-737-1045. Caller number 5 at the end of the show today, which is right now. Caller number 5 is headed to Bridgestone Arena tonight. Titans, of course, on Sunday, but the Nashville Predators very back in town tonight, 7 p.m. against the St. Louis Blues. 615-737-1045. Caller number 5 right now is headed to Bridgestone Arena. We are headed out, and the Buck Rising Show will be up next. Coach Dave McGinnis, Ben Arthur, Wesley Woodyard, appreciate them giving us a couple of minutes. 6 a.m. on a Friday show in the morning. And Ramon Foster with a message for the people on the way home.
Remember, your Twitter fingers and your mic is always hot.
I can feel it all the way down in my plums.